Good morning, Canada. As we look down the Clyde here in Glasgow, Scotland, and the site of the 2000 Ford World Curling Championships on TSN. She's had her eye on the top prize in Canadian women's curling before, but a piece always seemed to be missing from the puzzle for Kelly Law. But maybe she found that final piece, the perfect fit, in Julie Skinner, the former Canadian champion. And together, they were picture perfect in Prince George. They won the Scott, their Team Canada, in Glasgow. It's been quite the week for the Canadian champions from the Richmond Winter Club, finishing atop the standings at 7-2. But now in the semifinal and facing Scotland and looking for revenge. Playing at home can be tough enough, but the pressure really is on Scotland and Rona Martin. She's into the Final Four. She beat Canada once in round robin. Can she do it again?
So what do you think? As hard as I tried, I couldn't find the router tartan. Hi everyone, and welcome to Glasgow, Scotland and the Ford World Curling Championships here on TSN. This is Bothwell Castle, built in the 13th century and fought over time and time again during the War of Independence. Coming up on this semi-final Friday for the ladies, Canada's Kelly Law from the Richmond Curling Club goes against Scotland and Rona Martin. It's an off day, though, for the Canadian men. Greg McCauley had a wonderful week, lost just once. He's off today, and he'll play the Americans and Craig Brown in Saturday's semi, and we'll have that for you, too, here on TSN. Lyndon Ray, I know what you're wondering. This is the tartan they call the flower of Scotland. Oh, you're wondering about that, too? Well, you'd have to be a Braveheart to do that.
I don't know. Being from the Tweedy family of the Fraser clan, I'm not sure the little Swiss guy should be wearing that tartan at all.
Oh, he's a wonderful man. A wee, brave laddie you are. And you know what, Victor? You've got the great wheels, the great pins, but did you go all the way? I personally like you in your later hosen a little better.
As far as the women's game goes, 4 very evenly matched teams, these semi-finalists, very similar records. I think this will be a battle.
Oh, it's going to be a battle for sure, because Scotland's come on so strong in the late part of the week. But Canada, and I think there's a number of keys, and we'll talk about them, Linda, but one key for sure is I think Kelly can outskip Rona. And to do that, she's got to continue to get the big play from Julie and Georgie, that's for sure, but they've been very consistent all week. But at lead, that's the spot. Diane Nelson has got to get the stones in the right position out in that free guard zone area. It's the 4-rock rule over here, and if she does that, if she gets them in place, we'll see lots of offense, and I think that's a Canada edge.
Yeah, and for Rona Martin, little experience. This is going to be tough for her. She's going to have to keep her cool. Lots of Scottish fans will be cheering, lots of pressure on this team. So what do they have to do to win? For Scotland, keep their cool. Be alert. They've had time clock problems and brushing problems. Margaret Morton must return to form. She had a bad couple of games at the end of round robin play. For Canada, avoid the steals. A couple of games they've struggled with that 4-rock rule. Exploit a big edge at the front end positions and get a couple of saves from Kelly Law. And you look at the matchup at the bottom, Margaret Morton, terrific in the wins, but in the 3 losses for Scotland, at third she's really struggled. Julie Skinner has been very consistent at the 3rd position, helping out Kelly Law. So I think it will be a battle, but I think Canada does have the edge.
And when you look at the two teams and how they reached the Final Four, Canada finishing first at 7-2, and by virtue of their win over Norway, given first place ahead of Switzerland and Scotland. But it was the loss to the Scots that stands out in the week for Canada. And as for Scotland, of course, they were awarded 4th place, finishing with a record of 6-3. So it is Canada against Scotland. And we are at the magnificent Braehead Centre. It's on the River Clyde, about a 10-minute drive from downtown Glasgow. This is the Ford World Curling Championships on TSN.
The Ford World Championships on TSN are brought to you by Karcher, quality cleaning equipment. By Labatt, Good Things Brewing. And by Ford, for now, forever.
Let's meet these two teams meeting in this women's semi-final. The Scottish team from the Reform Curling Club in Green Acres. Janice Watt throws the lead stone, Fiona McDonald the second, Margaret Morton the third, and Rona Martin in her first ever world appearance. The Canadian champions from the Richmond Curling Club, Diane Nelson, Georgina Wheatcroft, Julie Skinner, and Kelly Law, as Canada looks to win their 11th world title. Magnificent building, brand new, seats 4,500. But today it was a swimming pool when the ice makers arrived early this morning. The computer had somehow shut off the ice making plant, and there was about a ½ inch of water on the top of the ice, but they've worked hard. They have it back, but has it affected it? Let's find out. Let's read the ice now with Ray. It's brought to you by Ford, for now, forever. Ray?
Well, you're right, Victor. There was panic here this morning, but they worked hard and got it back to normal. Around that center guard, you're talking about 3.5 to 4 feet. The center a little high, but you can get around them. Around the corner guard from the inside out, we're talking about 4 feet. They will finish big. They'll go hard. From the outside in, it's about 3 feet. You don't see the shot very often. A little more with the 4-rock rule, but the key is down the center. It has been a little high during the week, but I think they've got it beaten. Good ice, should be a good game.
And the first stone is being played right now. Janice Watt, the lead for Scotland. They flip for a hammer. Canada winning the flip, taking the stone. And so they have the hammer in the first. The Scots are playing a selected red stone.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how the teams come out. As you said, there was a wee lock in the Braehead Center, a little bit of water on top of the ice. And for the two teams, of the two skips in particular, it's Kelly Law that has the experience with all these little things that can happen in a championship. But both teams are very well coached. Mike Hay for Scotland. And also Scotland has a sports psychologist on staff. So I know that whatever happened this morning, the teams probably dealt with very well.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting game for sure, Linda. I think that the only thing I was wondering about it, how do you think the people that woke up at 6 in the morning in BC handled Vic in a kilt? I mean, imagine that. You just turn over in bed, turn on the TV,
and pull the covers up.
And there's this guy, oh no.
I thought it was pretty light, that's pretty clean, eh?
They were worried about the weight, Linda. That's the one thing that with the, and it really was, Vic was right on. It was this pool of water out here, and the best are here. Right? You got Hans Lutrick, Dave Merklinger, and Tim Horton. No, I mean Shorty Jenkins.
Now, when you think back to their round-robin game, it was a very messy first end, Linda. In fact, Scotland ended up stealing 4, and the Canadians fought their way back and really had chances to win it. Kelly, I don't think, wants to get into that kind of mess in the first.
No, and we saw the first stone of the end come in, and Canada actually with a miss, so now Scotland sitting 2 in that first game, the round-robin game between these two teams. In the first end, there was front rocks, there was come-arounds, and some terrific shots by Scotland to set up the steal. Got to the point where Kelly Law, on her last rock of that first end in round-robin play, did not have a shot except to eliminate. So it was very well played by Scotland, and they hung on for the win. I'm sure you won't see a start like that. It'll be more open play by both teams getting their feet wet, so to speak, in this game.
Good shot, Ty.
Very good. Very good.
I tell you.
Oh, so you just haven't been sightseeing and shopping. Yeah, that 4-ender in the round-robin game really just snuck up on them. It was one of those. There was a bad jam in the end too. In fairness to Canada, but it was one of those. And all of a sudden, you're down 4-0. It's just, you're right. She won't let that happen. Nice looks fine there. Looks quick.
Yep.
For 3 of the 4 members of the Scottish team, this is their first appearance at the World Championships, including Fiona McDonald. Only Janice Watt, the lead, has been here before.
Good, Fiona.
And now we get into the experienced order of the Canadian lineup, as it were. The lead, of course, Diane Nelson, Kelly Law, first appearances, but for Georgina Wheatcroft, her second, the former world champion with Pat Sanders back in 1987.
Control. Control.
Georgina has been very consistent during round
Nice shot,
robin
George.
play. In particular, her takeout
Shot,
game
you're
has
coming
been
my way.
very strong, and if there's anything you need with this 4-rock free guard zone rule is the big bailout shot after Leeds rocks have come to an end. So Kelly has been able to rely on Georgina a lot this week.
And the other thing that Georgie adds to this team is I've noticed throughout the whole week and through the Scott as well that very often Julie and Kelly will turn to Georgie for input as far as where we should go or what we should do, and kind of for that final word. And the front end stays out of it, but often you'll see Kelly call Georgie down the ice.
Okay, V.
Spin, Fiona.
Okay. You can whack it or freeze to it.
Well, these are the rules as compared to Canadian Curling Association and World Curling Federation. The time is 75 minutes, but here no timeouts. Free guard zone rule, no opponent stone can be removed if lying between the log line and the house until after the 4th stone of the end has come to rest, as opposed to, of course, the 3rd rock in Canada. And sweeping behind the tee line, it's only the
We're there
acting
easily,
skip. That's the
tons,
skip or the
tons.
3rd, based on who's about to throw.
We got tons.
And so the front ends have to get off it at the tee line.
We can't touch it
Kelly
now,
tried to
right?
use it, Vic, by freezing down to it, but just a little too strong, and she taps it out. She actually tried to lay up to it.
But there you saw Diane Nelson trying to sweep. It's really hard to get used to that changed rule, even though they've been here all week and playing that rule. And that is the key person in my mind. Rona Martin must play well, but Margaret Morton sets it up, and she has been hot. The Canadian team were scouting this team early in the week and saying, if she stays like that, it's going to be tough to beat this team. She has had a couple of bad games, though, at the latter part of the week.
Good.
The Ice Times brought to you by Labatt. Good things brewing.
Now, it's a bit of a guess because we don't know with the changing ice if this will be affected, but we believe between the hog lines, takeouts will remain at about 9 seconds, hack 11.5, draw 14, and guard 15.5. And if the first end is any indication, it appears that the weight will not go down from what we saw during round robin play.
No, if anything, it may be a little bit quicker, and you have your trusted little
No
watch,
line.
which I broke on you when you left it one day, but it's now up and running. So
Hey, Julie.
This one's just not moving for them.
Got to take a little bit less ice on those.
So is that a change maybe from the round robin, and maybe the ice conditions have changed that
Got to
way?
take less ice.
It could be, and there could be little spots. That's the
13. I know,
tough
but
part
you-
for the skips, to know if there's any changes in the spot. So is there a little bit of a straight spot outside the 4-foot based on what they did scraping after the ice came back, after it froze with the puddles no longer on there this morning?
and that was also a combination of maybe a touch too much weight as well, which held it a little straighter. But it doesn't. Julie's right. It doesn't look to be like it's curling very much there. We'll watch the center line. They were scraping it hard after they got it, after they turned the water into ice.
One thing I did hear throughout the week, as you probably did, is that the ice was very weight sensitive. That if you just a few more, another foot or so, 2 feet of it really just hung it. You had to really be cognizant of the fact.
It was interesting too. In watching, we got a chance to watch a lot of games this week because we've been here all week. And rotation is very important on the two. I saw Peter Lindholm, for example, on a hit or a draw in one of his games, actually lose rotation and gave up a steal of 3. Had the perfect weight and a change turn on him.
That was good
So
weight, eh? Yeah.
There's a little bit of frost. There was a little bit of frost on the outside.
Julie Skinner with her first, the run back,
Sorry about my first one.
and the Canadians
really
are
keen down there now.
shot stone, top 8. They
Like
have the
super
hammer in this
keen.
first, the women's
I didn't know how
semifinal.
fast it would be out there, so I threw it to be there, and that was too much. Yeah.
Talking about their practice times.
Yeah, and saying, as Ray mentioned, it's a little bit faster in this first end than they saw in practice, which is to be expected, but maybe not that much faster already. She really was impressive in the round robin game because, yes, Scotland got the big jump of a steal of 4 in the first end, but Canada clawed back, and Rona 3 times had to save ends, including her last rock to win the game. And she made them all.
She'll play the hit here now, Vic, and look to try and carry this in through and blanket, as opposed to with just her first stone trying to lay up to it. Good thought process. Start it all over next end, try and get something going, hold the hammer.
Linda, what I found very interesting about Kelly, and it applied to the men as well, is how comfortable they seem to be this week here. That is a big reason. The crowd, there's some 1,600 Canadians here. It's like a home game in many ways. But the team, you know how Europe can sometimes, when you go to Europe, be disruptive. You know, the language isn't the same. The street signs, you don't know where you're going. Here, you know everything.
Yeah, and it's in a mall. It seems like the whole venue seems to be similar to what they're used to. And also when you talk about feeling comfortable as Kelly hits and rolls out, they also feel comfortable with the rules here because this team, this Kelly Law team, does like to play aggressively. So the changing rules didn't affect them as much. And you can see all the flags around the arena as we watched on the screen, all the flags ready to wave for both countries.
It's a good chance to not only get the time, Linda, is to take a look at the curl here. Now I can see you're ready to go.
It's interesting to note they've been playing for a women's world championship since 1979. Scotland has never won. Canada has won the championship 10 times.
So you just haven't been shopping either, I can
No,
see.
no, that's my wife.
Of course, Scotland has made the finals. We actually played Scotland when we played in the final in '85, and I know they've made it other times.
Yes.
But it's hard to break through without making the big shots and having the experience. And so Rona will have to work very hard if she expects to win this and the final.
Assuming Rona hit the broom there, that's 4 feet of curl, Linda.
There's a funny wee bit there down that 4-foot line because he swept Julie's and actually
you see
ran
they're
back
pointing
a
out
bit
something,
and then came.
Ray, that just might be, you know, something a little different. Just a little straight spot.
With his out turn, eh? Straight spot. Well, we'll watch it.
Final stone for Kelly Law and Canada in the first, looking for the blank.
Yep. Yeah! Hurry!
Nelson,
That girl.
Wheatcroft, catch it, roll it,
Kelly.
and it'll sit edge of the 8 for the single. So Canada fails the blank here in the first.
Good girl.
The houses have been lively. Maybe they're a little different
She does that.
after our problems of the morning. We'll keep our eye on it. Canada grabs one here in the first in the women's semi.
The Ford World Championships on TSN are brought to you in part by Husky Oil and Mohawk Retailers, leaders in fuel, food, and services. By JVC, when performance matters. By Nova Scotia, Canada's Sea Coast. And by the Globe and Mail, well written, well read.
Well, wonderful support, as we say, for the Canadian teams. Kelly Law, Greg McCauley, some 1,600 strong have made the trip to Glasgow and the Braehead Arena. Canada taking one with the hammer in the first, so the last rock belongs to Scotland. And the first stone for the Scottish lead, Janice Watt.
Get in, come in, come on.
The Yellowstone back 4 thrown in by Canada's Diane Nelson.
Hey, guy, right at it.
Janice coming up just a little bit light on that freeze attempt.
Just ask.
But an indication that
Kelly,
Rona is certainly prepared to play the game a little bit.
Yep.
Didn't throw up the
Hey, I read
corner, but tried to utilize the stone behind the tee line. Now freezing to it. Interesting, the comments as we went to commercial, Vic, we heard the Canadians say, well, that's 5 points better than we were the first game.
That's right. Lots of positives there.
Sit.
It's a bit too
It'll
much
just
weight.
roll out. When we talk about plus minus, remember, we look at these stats to see how a player played in every game. And you get a plus if you outscore the opposition lead, second, third, or skip by 5 percentage points or more. So I added up all the pluses and minuses for all these players, and you see a big advantage for Canada at front end. Look, at lead was even for Scotland over the course of the week, but at second they were minus. And Canada very consistent at plus 4s and plus 5s. So my belief that the Scottish third must play well is also because I think Canada will have the edge at lead at second, and Margaret Morton will have to come back strongly at that third position.
You're not flying too much. Whoa, then, whoa, just leave her, just leave her. Whoa.
Pretty nice weight, just a little too much curl.
Former Scottish junior champion of 1988, and there's a rematch of sorts.
Whoa!
The 88 world junior champion
Here!
was
Control!
Julie Sutton.
Julie Sutton, now Julie Skinner.
It's gotta come up a lot. Sitting there. Just sitting on the line.
Going to test us all day like
Kind of
that?
threw no handle on it, eh? Just sat there. I didn't think it had a
Now,
handle.
the geography test comes later.
Oh, yeah, I'll bet.
It didn't have a handle.
I'll bet
Just
you have
sat there, I
something
thought.
planned.
So where is Ayrshire?
It didn't turn.
Right by Balder.
That's right. Fiona McDonald.
Nice mechanics. The one thing that she doesn't do too well, Lindy, is throw the up weight.
Yeah, she really has struggled with it, and it's not because she has the no backswing delivery. We have seen people use that effectively with peel weight, but for her, the timing of the way she throws, it's just really tough for her to get the up weight. That one will slide right through.
Well, it's right up in this area here. You just there's a.
Okay, George.
Or Linda says it's down here. Of course, and Winnipeg is out there someplace.
Yeah, actually, I think, Ray, you were going a little too far north, above St. Andrews even up there.
So it's in the lowlands, not the highlands.
I think so. Actually, Ayrshire, I believe, is where they had the curling rock factory I went to years ago, just south of here, Mauchline.
Want to take it
Watch
in?
the stones get made from Ailsa Craig granite into curling
That's really
rocks.
cute. Shot. Fine.
Tweedy, you say, was the name?
My maiden name is Tweedy, so that's the Fraser
She didn't mop up the
clan
gam. Did she just put it out a bit, or?
from Dunfermline area.
Oh, yeah.
And I won't get you to draw that one. Looking for a double takeout here. And this is where Fiona will have to be able to throw a normal takeout for them.
Canada line 2 without here in the second,
Up a wee
leading
bit.
1-0.
She has a slight tendency to throw her out, turn out, and her in, turn in, which is fairly typical for a right-handed player. Good attempt there.
The jam leaves Canada still line 1, back of the button.
This one just wouldn't come up to the angle they hoped for, but she got rid of the one. Kelly will have to go after the Scottish stone top 12.
They talked about the inside-out shot or the outside in. They've gone to the out turn, which is the outside in for Julie. We'll see how this runs. They've taken about an inch of ice, that's all.
hanging.
So obviously expects it to run straight down there.
It's really hanging.
She did put that out a little bit, I think, then she released it.
Curl of hair.
And gets away with it as the Canadian stone doesn't go. But it's
That
now
wave
off
is
the
good,
button,
eh?
back 8.
Stayed there.
Well, they went to the straighter turn, and I'm just thinking that, you know, maybe wiser to take that other one, especially in a place where you had to be careful not to jam. Julie's quite concerned about the ice being a little bit straighter. Whether it is or not, that may be something that would dwell on her as she goes to throw those.
But it's not the kind of thought you want to plan, is it?
No, it's one thing as a coach that you try not to get people to think about it. And I talked about the fact that the teams would have tried to block out any changes that would have occurred with the ice problems earlier. But once as a skip you see that happening, you may just give her different turns or call different ways just to get her out of that process.
Nice weight on that shot.
I can nose it and get it out.
Normal.
Yep. Did that curl much?
Margaret Morton, Scotland with the hammer.
That was great weight, just over curled a tiny bit. She will try and jam it out.
Oh, right off.
This is one of Julie's strengths, though. She can throw the up weight, throws it pretty accurately.
No.
Seems a little concerned here, but just wants to pick it out of there. Good shot.
And gets rid of everything.
Nice hats, guys.
Yes, the battle of the hats there. Canada versus Scotland.
I think I threw that one, my first one, a little out. Like out with the spin, because I was trying to throw that. I don't need that spin anymore. One goes outside.
First World Championship appearance for the 32-year-old Margaret Morton.
Now this is something you don't see very much in Canada. You are all permitted to sweep your own stone between the tee lines, but you don't normally see the thrower get up and sweep. You often see it from European teams and in particular Scottish teams. No problem, it makes it to the tee line.
You know, it's interesting in talking to Kelly, I think there was some question, as there always is, maybe with Canadian teams coming to play the four-rock rule. But I forgot personally, that she was part of the Olympic trial prior to the Nagano Olympics, so she played the four-rock rule there. And in fact, she told us in our sports desk reports, she likes the four-rock rule better.
There's lots that do.
There's times when you don't, though. I mean, she'd be the first to say when you're tied coming home and the opponent gets up 2 rocks out front, you're not crazy if the ticks aren't made, and suddenly you're facing a couple of rocks in the house. But overall, you're right, Vic. As a skip at the Canadian level, she is very aggressive and is comfortable with lots of rocks in play, and has shown during this week that if she does get into trouble, she's perfectly prepared to make the save by drawing to the forefoot.
Good throw.
Good.
That one reacted fine the way they expected.
Our internet poll question of the day is brought to you by Nokia, and we want to know from you which you think is better for curling, the 3-rock rule, which we currently play in Canada, or the 4-rock rule, which is played by the rest of the world. And there's our web address, www.tsn.ca/curling.
So far, we haven't seen anything about the 4-rock rule in this game. We've seen rocks come into the rings and freeze attempts, but no guards out in front. One interesting thing that happened in the Scotland-Canada game with the 4-rock rule is there was a mistake made. A rock was removed from the front when it was not supposed to be, and yet it didn't go back, and that's because the Canadian team didn't realize the penalty had been incurred. And if the officials here do not come onto the ice and guide you with that, you must ask for the stones to be replaced.
He's going to throw normal. Yeah.
Kelly's in-turn hit.
She played in 4 previous
Whoa.
Scott Turnout of Hearts before finally breaking through this year.
Clean.
Whoa.
Prince
Just
George.
clean. Clean. Clean.
Yep.
Yep. Yep.
Shot, Kelly.
Oh, nice. And gets the inside roll to the forefoot.
I always like to make one of those kind of shots early. I don't know how you felt about it, Linda, but when I was playing a wide shot like that, because it kind of really makes you, you know, you don't play a lot of them, so it really gives you a good feeling. And she threw that, and the comment by Diane was absolutely perfect. Good throw, Kelly. And that.
No, you're right, and some teams make a mistake, Ray, when they warm up before a game. They just throw a lot of slides down the middle rather than warming up to those wide shots. And you're right, warm yourself up to all the angles, and when you get a chance to make one of those early, it feels terrific.
Yeah, it does.
They rolled to the middle to make the blank a little bit harder for Rona.
Final stone here in the second, looking to blank. Canada leading 1-0.
No, it's okay. It's okay, guys.
Not a brush yet from the front end, and she'll hit it right on the nose, sit there for a single. So both teams Opportunities to blank and opportunities missed. We trade singles through the first two. Canada will have the hammer when we come back to Glasgow.
Well, one of the things that coaches look at when they're looking at players is weaknesses. So if you look at Rona Martin, you do see one weakness poke right out at you. Look at the hits, 65% lower than the draws, and in-turn hits 57%, much lower than the out-turns. Kelly pretty good right across, except for her in-turn draws at 68%, much lower than her out-turn draws. So if it comes down to the last end, Canada wants Rona Martin to have to throw an in-turn hit.
Yeah.
And of course, Scotland will be trying to set it up, so Kelly has to throw an in-turn draw.
First stone from the Scottish lead. Janice Watt is just off center line in the free guard zone. And so this is the first for the Canadian lead. Diane Nelson as we play in the third of a 1-1 tie.
You know, Linda, it looked to me like Rona definitely wanted to hit and stick there. Did it not look that way to you?
It
They
did.
didn't call the brushing for a blank.
No, I agree with you completely. Now, we do see this sometimes in European play where they will not blank. They will take the point, and actually the next end they will set up guards, which you're seeing from Rona here. She put the first one out in front. We'll just see as Canada comes into the house.
Just feathers the front, and the brushing will take
Sorry,
it
that was a 78.
back 8.
Yeah, actually, that might have been a mistake. If I was Canada, I might have let it rub, because coming deep now gives Scotland a chance to come in.
Yeah, that's exactly what you wanted. That rock is just too deep. It's behind the tee line. It breaks a rule that Linda has, and you can't put it there. You give your opposition a chance to sit on top.
Second stone for Janice Watt. As we say, the only member of this team to play in a previous Worlds, and that was in 1994 when she played with Christine Cannon. And that was the last time Scotland went to the final, when they lost to Sandra Schmidt.
Probably the same out there. Okay.
Well, this is a golden opportunity, Linda. This is the one now that Diane's got to get this rock top of the 8-foot, top of the 12-foot, just tuck it around the guard a little bit. Can't be deep. You got the chance. Scotland had the opportunity to come down on top of their stone, or get it to the button even, and now you have a chance to really close this end off, and you've got the advantage of having last rock.
Georgina Wheatcroft closest to the stone. It's Julie Skinner out in front, trying to drag it for all it's got. Well by. Top 12. And they'll get it to the top 8 to lie 2. Canada with the hammer here in the third.
That's a great shot, Lou.
Nice shot.
That's a terrific way to cut off the come around for Scotland. And we've seen the 4-rock rule in play here with those 2 guards out in front. Couldn't be removed by Canada. They didn't want to anyways. They wanted to use them to come around. Scotland will now be moving one up.
Fiona McDonald.
Yep. Great!
Janice Watt, Margaret Morton trying to hold the line, looking to run it back, and they'll get the stone off the top of the 8.
Nice run back.
Would have liked to caught the first stone a little bit more on the outside. It would have left it behind cover. It rolls out and gives Kelly a chance to come around if she wants.
It's kind of guarding our back one, though, right?
Opens it up, though, for that.
I can't get through there.
Hey?
Well, as you're looking at playing
Right around it?
into this area here, trying to get it right into this area here.
Let's do this for now, George.
Kind of blocking ours, though, right?
I
It's
know.
kind of guarding ours.
Either hit
I
the
like
back
going.
one or the come around, I like.
Go around it. I just played it.
I like the coming around too.
Yep. What'd you get?
Georgina
Line's
Wheatcroft.
good. Line's fine, got room. Lots of room.
Checking their interval times.
They had a look. They are getting draws that are timing for the full distance much differently than I mentioned. It is much faster. So that's going to be tough to get used to those interval changes, too.
Shot.
Right to the top of the button. Canada again line 2 with the hammer.
Just never got it to finish, Victor. It just didn't close for her. It's wide open.
Good weight. Your rocks are straight. The way you throw. It's fine. Good weight.
Yep. Quick. Whoa. Yeah. Quick. 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 Quick.
Got it by. And sit there. Just roll to the edge of the floor.
Well, they were looking for the double to try and sit 2, and it curled a bit too much at the end. So it hit it a little bit more on the outside, the side the broom was held on. It would have driven it at a different angle and maybe caught the double.
Hit and roll would be nice here for Canada.
Whoa. Whoa, guys. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Great off.
We go the other way?
No. No, just leave it. Sharp.
Good shot.
Just a reminder, TSN's coverage of the Masters continues. Second round coverage today, 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. A lot of interest over here, and because of the time difference, it's late in the evening on both BBC One and BBC Two. And yesterday, interested to see that Dennis Paulson is the leader by 1. Sergio Garcia at -2 with Steve Stricker, a graduate of the Canadian Tour, doing well. And Mike Weir and Tiger Woods at +3. Jack Nicklaus, 2 over. Played with Arnold Palmer.
And they are the Masters, of course. Great player in there.
A lot of interest over here, you're right, Vic, because there's been the Europeans have had a lot of success in the Masters over the years.
Well, nobody able to get the roll on this shot. Looks like it's fairly straight and just not getting it to curl enough.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Clean.
Great opportunity here, Linda, if she can get the roll behind the guards.
No.
Clean.
Chance to set up and maybe
Whoa.
get a couple.
Yep, George.
All on its own.
George!
Maybe jump inside. No, they'll jump it away.
It's a longer second shot, though, I don't think.
No, Canada lying 1 back of the 8-foot.
Was that was normal, was it? A little up.
It's not within.
I really do think they're either going to have to bring the weight down or tighten the ice on those outside
do you wanna
shots
bring
for
one
Julie.
in?
They're just running so straight for her.
It's half penny and going up. Okay.
Come round.
Got it top. We should open it up.
Talking about coming around here,
They've
getting
got
it
two
into this
counters,
area
though.
here, right
No,
here.
go for the draft you want.
You could play the raise. I guess that's the one question. Do you want to raise one of the front stones? It would open up the back rock, which maybe would bring in your other red stone into play, and also, of course, promote a rock into a position where it's buried.
Margaret Morton as we play third stones. Here in the third of a 1-1 tie.
Yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
We're moving on to
Never,
play either
never.
Norway
Never.
or Switzerland. They'll
Never,
meet in
guys,
the other
never.
women's semi.
Whoa, it's clean. Whoa.
It's a lively house, and they slide, slide, slide.
And it'll slide by and stop now. And just past and out.
Are we shot still, I'm assuming? Huh?
I think it's out.
I was just too deep, and it doesn't
I like going
curl
around it,
until
so I
it
can go
actually
around
does
it.
start
Hit
to
that.
slow
Like
down.
that.
So
Like that, or
that's
you wanna
why you
drop?
saw cleared the guard by quite a
Yeah.
bit and was just
What's
curling
key,
at
eh?
the end. It would have been a great
Went
shot
through.
as far as curl goes if the weight had been there.
Okay.
Good call to draw it right in this into the area, around behind the guard.
Full line. Tons of room.
Way out there. Whoa.
Gotta curl. Has to curl.
Close. Whoa, girls. Stay close for line.
Oh, tons of room.
It's coming.
Yep.
There.
Okay, whoa.
There, swap 8. Sit.
Boy, it certainly doesn't curl very much there. You know, you go back to our reading the ice segment. Now we had it curling, 3.5 to 4 feet with both turns, but that turn does not curl at all. Very, very straight.
It's just when it hits the house, it starts to move. So you have to cut that guard very tightly and have the perfect weight. And then I think it might carry in.
For how keen it is, I thought it was controllable on the first one, but it's too much, right? Because it's so keen.
Rona was lining up the double.
Well, if it does continue that there are spots that are a little bit straight, those raises that we mentioned earlier in this end might come to be the shot they need to play.
And the other thought too is you look to maybe set up the stones in a position to play the out turn come arounds here to see how it works.
Yep. Come on!
Rona Martin trying to angle it back. It'll curl too much, but look at this. She gets the inside roll, and she shot stone and covered without the hammer here in 3.
I don't know where that curl came from. It surprised the team. It just took off and got the roll. We just got it by that front one.
If we catch it, we might just catch it right. Either that or we just draw it.
If we were line second shot, we come right round. If we come right round, then...
Yeah. Not really, but we
But
could
if you
just pick this one and go in.
That's right.
Let's play that.
Yeah.
What turn?
In turn.
Gotta hit this first.
Well, if you're gonna clear one, though, you're better to clear that one than that one. Oh, it doesn't matter. It opens up the center.
She's trying to hit
I think
the
the
stone
intern-
and come off of it.
Do is come off the back of this one.
Yeah.
Right, so we got
Yeah.
this
So play the
first.
intern. Yeah. Is that good? Yeah.
I want to make sure I get them both, though.
Yeah. Norma?
Yeah, I think that would work.
Yeah. If you get that one first, that's not very much.
I'm gonna throw peel.
Okay. Yep.
She wants to get them both, Lou, if she can. Try and squirt forward.
Trying to open it up for her last rock.
Okay, guys. Pretty good weight. Need it.
Whoa!
The other one! Yeah!
Whoa!
Kelly Law in her first.
Yes! Whoa! Rita!
Back right off one, squirt it through,
Great shot. Great shot.
and by the shot stone, but she gets that front open.
That's a nice shot. She could have even had a better result. He went
Good
off at
shot.
an angle, Lou, and otherwise,
It's perfect.
good shot is right.
Yeah, that's a great shot. Just gotta think. And her rock's guarding our rock. Right?
You can hear the
Little whisper,
Canadian
eh?
team talking because, of course, the rock that is troublesome for Scotland is the yellow rock at the back of the 8-foot belonging to Kelly. Scotland is sitting shot rock, but second shot is the stone right behind it.
Well, if I made mine perfect, I would have put the side of it out. And I would take 3.
Bump it up, but then the second shot's not going to lie shot, and if I pump it into the open, I can go for the draw to there.
I think so. Yeah. Even if you end up, if you just nick that one, and if you just nick it. Okay?
What do you think? See, I can't nose it back because we're doing my one. If I nose it back and push it out into the open, she's got to hit for 3. Freeze the back yellow.
So where will she draw here?
She's trying to come to the yellow stone at the back of the 8-foot and freeze it, trying to sit 1-2. You heard her say if she played the raise on her own and didn't hit it at the right angle, she wouldn't be second shot and the rock would be exposed.
I'll not lie second shot though. But it would push it the back one.
Well, they've changed their minds to the tap, I
red.
think.
You know what I do? Start that one.
No.
You won't be second
If
shot
I
though.
freeze it, then it's gonna, if I freeze it right, it's going to go straight to the back yellow.
Yep.
Even if it's short, the line's good.
Red.
Back to the original thought, or are they going to tap it back, Linda? With the ice, they shortened up the ice, so.
I think it's the
looks like
Rays now they're playing.
Yeah.
Ice okay?
The final stone for Scotland and Rona Martin here in the third.
Oh, then never, Janice, never. Never lie.
They're thinking that it's got too
Never
much
lied.
weight, and it's definitely not going to curl if it is
right up
heavy.
to it.
Whoa, it's going off it. Whoa.
Up to it, come on, line!
Come on!
Line!
Well, that weight seems fine.
Come on! Come on! Come on, freeze it!
Not enough to bump it back.
Whoa.
Set up the double.
Well, I don't know what was wrong, because definitely it needed to be swept for weight.
Chance for Canada to score 2 here, just to catch this.
Double for 3. Had to nose it, if not leave it short. It's just yanking off it.
So that's why we were trying to see if we could keep the line.
It's always just yanking off it, because the weight was perfect.
Okay, through the inter.
I think so. You just threw it.
Right there.
We can afford to hit it anywhere on this side, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Yep. It's good.
Anywhere on the center line side.
Yeah, it did.
And here's a relatively easy double, and you heard Rona say if we did anything wrong about it being light, it had to be angled so that it would be jamming onto the back yellow. I've seen, as I mentioned, brushing mistakes for them during the week, and that's a big one.
Double for 2.
Well, Rona thought for 3,
So
we're not sure about that other rock that's in the side of the 12-foot.
I don't care what.
Whoa.
Final stone here in the third. In a 1-1 tie.
Yes! Yes! Whoa! 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 Whoa, 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 whoa. Sitting there a bit. Okay, Kelly.
Now will it sit in time?
Great shot.
Sits there. Now it is a definite 2 for Canada here in the third. Kelly Law and the Canadians take advantage of the missed shot by Rona Martin. And they're up 3-1 through 3 of this women's semifinal.
Good shot.
Janice
I
Watt
kept thinking it was gonna go, and it never did.
and Diane Nelson are the leads. Fiona McDonald and Georgina Wheatcroft throw second stones. Margaret Morton and Julie Skinner are the thirds. And the Scottish skip is Rona Martin from Green Acres. And Canada's Kelly Law from Richmond, BC. The key shot is brought to you by Husky Oil and Mohawk retailers, leaders in fuel, food, and services.
Well, I talked about the 2 skips and their strengths and weaknesses. Guess what? An in-turn hit for Kelly Law is her best shot, 93% over the course of the week. It may be a chance for 3. We weren't sure, but when Kelly makes contact with the double, the shooter will actually roll over and touch 1 stone. So it's not 3, it is 2, but it's a big 2 and a good way to get this game going for Canada.
It was a hit for 2.
As we welcome you back to Braehead, the Braehead Arena. Wonderful facility, Canada with a 3-1 lead. As we go to the 4th, Scotland with the hammer. First stone for Canada comes into the button, Diane Nelson. Scottish lead. Janice Watt comes right down on top. Second lead stone now for Nelson.
Well, Rona really hasn't tried to utilize the free guard zone area at all. I mean, that
Good
was
shot,
a nice
guy.
freeze.
All the way, keep it
But the
going,
perfect
keep it going.
freeze, as you know, we still think is the toughest shot in the game. Even tougher than the tick. Have we decided that? Have we gone that way, Vic?
Well, the ticks are tough. They're a little easier here, I think, because of the extra width in the ice.
On this ice, you're right.
Although there is the rule at the world level where as many players that want to can sweep that tick, where in Canada it's just one.
Yep, you're tighter leg.
We should have you.
Yep, you're tighter leg.
But you're right, Rona has not thrown up guards. Now, that one was on the button, Diane Nelson's first rock for Canada. So maybe she was a little afraid to do it there, but I think at some point she'll want to get some rocks in play. That was how Scotland played all week. Lots of front stones, lots of come-arounds.
I really want it sitting there. Peel it out.
Yep.
Rona seems to favor the front stones
sit.
when she
Normal.
does not have the last rock, more so than when she does have it, which is a little bit of the reverse from what we feel.
But do you want to sit there?
Well, just over a bit.
That's not bad. Whatever. Whatever we get.
Well, the reason Kelly's talking about possibly rolling a stone out is she's trying to leave very few rocks for Scotland to draw to.
Picked, didn't it? Picked.
That caught something for sure, because right out of her hand it went sideways. There's no question that it caught something early.
He must have picked, eh?
Georgia can't believe it, because she threw it pretty well, it looked like to me, and then all of a sudden it just went sideways, so it caught something. It happens.
Out of your hand, it was gone almost, eh?
So an opportunity here for Scotland with the hammer to lie to, set up a possible deuce, get right back into it. They're down 3-1. Fiona McDonald.
Yep, whoa. Whoa, never. Yeah, quick, 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 all the way, John, hard, hard. Yeah. It drifted right out, so you know Fiona didn't want to touch it, and then it just yanked at the end, because I called it first.
Did you leave a double with this stone, Ray?
Well, there's a double possibility, but I mean, even so, even if they don't make the double, grouping the stones like that, they were just surprised that curled so much, Vic.
Push that out. Are you fish? Flip them all out.
Yes!
Right out of her hand, you can see Nelson and Skinner trying to hold the line. Get one, roll it across, maybe glue it right to the corner if they can.
Nice shot. She may have got that started a bit, Lou, because they jumped on it right away. Nice shot by Georgina. Great brushing. They were on it right out of her hand. Held it all the way. Julie's in a good position to get it over.
Down, buddy.
Trying to get it off the face.
Yep. Quick!
Now it's the Scots that have to go to work. Watt and Margaret Morton.
Ollie! Quick, quick!
I said earlier in the game that watching Fiona during the week, she does tend to get that in-turn started, and I think she did. We saw on George's that if you get it going at all, it will really take off, and I think Fiona was just a little inside.
Here?
Yep.
Some early numbers for the teams as you look at Rona Martin at 83% and Kelly Law exactly the same number. A pretty open start to the game right up until that last end. And I talked about the matchup at third, and you saw Julie's numbers quite low. She will have to pick it up.
Yep! Hurry!
Canada lying 2 without here in the fourth.
Well, those rocks are behind the tee line, so Rona's going to try and use them by drawing down, freezing to the face.
Hold line, wait only.
Clear.
Heavy.
Get off it. No, no.
Oh my.
Hey, Maggie. Okay.
Slips through and now it's backing. Linda Ray, we got and have seen so many Canadians over here.
How much space?
We want to say hello to Alan Nielsen, who is originally from Flin Flon, Manitoba, who's in Winnipeg Hospital.
Same weight?
And Alan, we wish you the best, as do Russ, Barb, and Wynn. So we hope you're doing well.
Lots of Canadians are right, Vic. Les and Ron, also from Flin Flon, over here with the Hudson Bay Melting
Out.
and Smelling
Hang
in
it.
Ireland are taking the trip over to watch some of this. And they want to say hi to home as
Curl
well.
a little.
Okay, that's good.
Little out on that one.
Fine. Works out all right. A couple of nice shots by Julie this end, and
Yeah, not bad.
Margaret showing that she's
I'm just
struggling a little bit with
all the way
how
down.
fast the ice
Curl a
is.
little, curl a little.
Margaret's been heavy on her draws so far.
You just drop it, but you have to know.
Yep.
Margaret Morton.
Whoa. Oh, no, never.
She'll get rid of one, but the shooter will roll too far. Canada continues to lie, two. Both of them behind the tee line.
And we can go here, but if she gets a double.
And she gets hit one all over there.
No, I think we should just hit it.
Well, they taught about,
We'll take
thought
it,
about a
we'll
lot
get
of
it out,
things,
eh,
placing the
Try?
stone. They're
Yeah,
afraid to place the stone someplace where it
I like just hitting it.
they're going to play the hit on this stone here. They
Seems
talked
it.
about putting it someplace, and they thought, oh, gee, we'll leave her a double or a hit and roll. So they've decided to play the hit on the back one.
Okay, so I
They
think
don't have the hammer, so can't come against you. You get it out of there.
That's right. That's a safe play. Right now,
Yep.
Canada has a little bit of control, and Scotland hasn't shown that they've made the really big shot when needed, so keep the pressure
Yes.
on them.
Yep.
Yes.
Hard.
Hurry.
Quick!
Big brush again from
Oh, you
Nelson,
guys,
and
straight up, as far as it'll go, as far as
Georgina
it'll go, as far as
Wheatcroft
it'll
all
go.
the way down.
Little light. Good shot.
That's underthrown for sure. That's not her normal weight.
Was I 2 down? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Nice brushing, held that, Victor.
Feel a little 2 down.
What's that?
Right?
Kelly has a fan club, just like MICKEY.
But how big's the shot?
Playing the freeze down in front of the stone right here.
would you agree the Scots need to make something happen here? They need to lift themselves a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. I think they need a big shot.
Back to it goes.
They've been playing it fairly open, and if you're going to
Yeah,
do
then
that, you have
away.
to come up with the big freezes.
You've got
Try
room.
and score your 2.
All the way then, make sure it's there. Come on! Hard! Hard!
And Margaret will take over at
Hard,
the tee line.
Maggie!
Nice shot.
Very nice by the Scottish kid, Rona Martin.
Nice shot by Rona, right down in front of the stone, but it's still a shot that Kelly can squeeze out of there. She has to hit it on the outside, but here's the freeze as it comes down. They jump on a little bit. And just doesn't curl quite enough. Good shot just the same. Kelly has to hit this properly. Anywhere on the outside, the left-hand side as we see it.
Whoa. Clean. Whoa. Off. Off.
Right off.
Tracking on that line. Totally tracking.
Pick it out. Move it far enough.
Hey, Kelly.
No, and it'll be a draw for 2.
What happened there, because what you actually talked about earlier, how sensitive the ice is to the weight.
Tracked on that line.
She stepped the weight up and it just tracked right down the 4-foot line, as you heard her mention. She just touches it. She had to get
You almost made it.
another quarter and a half or so.
Threw it right at the broom.
Yep.
Yeah, I think you have to be careful because they've seen a couple of rocks curl there, but I do believe one was one that caught something. That was Georgina's, and the other one, I believe, the Scottish second Fiona did turn the rock inside. So with that kind of weight, I don't think you're going to see it move.
Big break for Scotland. Get their deuce right back. You hate that. You work hard to get 2. You make a double for 2 the end previous, and
Where?
now you give it right back.
All the way.
You need a hand?
Ready!
Uh-oh.
Come on!
Uh-oh, here comes Margaret Morton.
Hard, Janice, hard!
Fiona McDonald, Janice Swan is out there too.
Hard!
Now everybody's there. Rona Martin as well. Little panic, ladies. No need to. They'll get it to the top 4 for a deuce here in 4.
Two red.
We're all even. Scotland and Canada in the women's semi-final here in Glasgow, and the Ford Worlds on TSN. And just a reminder, we'll be back with you Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern, that's 6 a.m. Pacific, for the men's semifinal featuring Canada's Greg McCauley. He finished first in round robin, lost just once at 8-1, and he'll go against the United States and Craig Brown from Madison, Wisconsin, the son of U.S. Hall of Famer Steve Brown, who's here as well and coaching them. The Canadian men's team, though, today is in Edinburgh, visiting the castle, taking their day off and going a little sightseeing.
Well, it's great stock. Craigie Brown is a young curler. Lots of he's played a lot. He comes from a curling family. His sister Erica, of course, we saw last year with Patty Lank at 3rd. So and he's a great future for the USAA. It's a good young team. I really like it, but he'll have his hands full with a seasoned veteran tomorrow, believe me.
And Canada's only loss on the men's side against Patrick Hurleman, Olympic gold medalist and playing for pride himself because Switzerland was out of the playoffs. So played against a good team and lost. So you just shake that one off and move on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
and Canada's going to have to shake off that last end. Looked like Kelly Law threw the stone well, but with that up weight, it's just not going to peel.
Yeah, you made a good point during the commercial break, Linda. You know, they maybe just overthinking a little bit, because that has been pretty consistent. The fact that it's when you step it up like that, it's going to run very, very straight. Corner guard thrown up, and Rona goes around it to the edge of the 4-foot.
Canada has the hammer here in 5. 3-3 the score.
Hit the middle one. Hit and roll.
How much can you see?
Front one, guys. I like the front one too. Hit and roll right in front of it.
Through board weight.
I like the open one better.
Yeah,
Hit and
I don't
flop.
mind that. I mean, even this is good.
Okay, yeah.
I get the double.
Yep. Let's try that.
I like the high one.
Okay. Okay.
Roll either way. You heard Julie say we could roll in front of our own stone that you can use later, or even roll away and maybe catch the double if you get a little fortunate. Hold the shooter. This is the one I'd be playing.
Whoa. Whoa.
Weight's nice. Got a stick. Got a stick.
Yep. Roll it, Julie. Okay.
And the shooter
shot,
rolls
guy.
to the edge of the 8-foot.
It's good. Good shot.
Not quite thinly enough to remove the other Scottish stone, but a good roll to the side.
Kind of panicked a little on the release of it.
They did, yeah.
Just by the sound, I thought maybe she was outside, way outside or something. Didn't prove to be so.
Yep. Whoa. Yep.
Fiona
Quick.
McDonald, two-time Scottish
Hard.
junior champion, world junior champion in 1993.
Hard. Good. No, you just turned it in a bit, but it just went a lot quicker. But that's not
Nicely thrown by Fiona. Scotland sitting 2.
It's actually going too far. I've left it just half.
Nice roll here by Georgie.
Could have swept it a bit, I guess, for more of the pool, but it's fine. You almost made the double. Is it open? The back one? No, it's okay.
So be careful removing this.
Nothing yet from Janice Swan or Margaret Morton. Oh my, and she just got away with it. Seemed to hang there and hang there all the way down.
Okay.
Okay, George.
Good chance for Canada to get around that front rock. They put it up there for a reason, and that's to use it. And George will try and do just that.
Yeah, you're right, Lou. This is why you put it there to try and you've got the rock moved off the 4-foot, which is nice now.
Got
So
lots of weight, eh?
you can get the angle freeze on this.
Not bad. Not bad. Good weight. It's T-line.
Or better.
Whoa. It's curling hard, though. Curl. Whoa. Okay, George. Good shot. Good shot.
Okay.
It's just a little too much, Victor.
Bounces off and
Inching it over.
T-line 4-foot.
We'll get it over there soon enough.
Well, we see lots of curl on that rock, so we know for future reference that both teams can use those corner guards well. They will curl around them.
Yep. Quick. Quick.
Again, right out of Margaret Morton's hand. It's Watt and McDonald. Got it by the guard. Nice shot to lie 2 without here in 5. But that's not the first time they've carried a stone for her down the ice.
Try to throw a board.
Not even. I like hack. What do you think, George?
Board weight.
I like hack, because then
Just
if I
talking
clip
about
the
the
top, I'm
weight
rolling in.
and try and sit
Okay.
it right in front of this one right here.
Oh, okay, right. Yes, yes, yes!
Yep.
Yes! Hurry!
Even Julie said right out of her hand, come on.
Whoa!
Whoa!
Whoa, Rita.
Whoa!
Throw it a little.
George!
Almost perfect, Lou.
Nice shot. I think they're just panicking a little. I mean, it's a nervous situation. You're in a world semifinal, and I understand that, but you have to be careful not to be so loud with your brushing
I wanted
calls
to make sure we
that
got it
you're
early so we
sort
wouldn't
of
lose it.
panicking and overwhelming each other
no.
without really just thinking through the weight and the line.
Just got to be careful getting by that one.
We've talked before, Ray, about some teams where they're so loud with calling out and sort of do that panic thing at the beginning that sometimes you don't realize, no, it's okay. It can be left. Let's just talk back and forth. Line's good, weight's good, whatever it is.
Play off, 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 off. Never, 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 whoa!
Draw. Start drawing. Come on, draw.
Pitch Ham.
Fine, just wouldn't have come.
Just didn't come for her, just didn't curl for her. She may have been a little full on it. See it here, it stays out. Missed the front rock, Linda, by a long way, and she drives it back on her
Exactly,
own.
T-line.
This is
on the tee.
really a great opportunity for Canada
So we
now.
have a darn thing over here. Still should be up there, shouldn't it?
Going to spread them out. She could have gone in and around the guard herself if she so desired to really try and lock it off here, but she's going to try and spread this stone out, get them even. Want to set up a double.
Hurry! Hurry!
Kelly Law will join Georgina
T-line,
Wheatcroft
T-line,
and Diane
T-line,
Nelson trying to take it
T-line.
back as far as they
Right up,
can,
right
even them
right
up.
Right up, right up, right up. Great sweeping.
Great
Very
brushing
nice.
is right.
They'll get it to the tee line, and they're just mirror image of each other now.
First one was a peach, eh? I wanted to make sure we swept it early because I thought I pinched it a hair. Because I saw it going and going. Then you said, whoa, and that was
We
perfect
talked about
timing.
maybe Kelly putting it in here, but she's made the decision that we'll
Thanks,
spread
man.
them out. She got it there, so now what to
He's
do
cool, yeah.
is the big decision for Rona. Do I come down, sit on top of it? Do I try and tap the one that's covered back? Looks a little bit like draw ice to
No, a
me.
wee bit more. Janice's, remember hers that come in. Do you like this call or do you not?
Well, it's a little bit of a risky call, and
Big call, get it
it's a
over
great
with
one if
again.
you can get right to the face of the Yellowstone in the 4-foot, but if you don't and Kelly can start chipping at these rocks, there's a chance for a big end to develop for Canada.
It's a good jam.
Well, the end's setting up for 2 for Canada now, and there's no question that
This is a bit
if
very
Rona
humid.
makes...
No, I'm not. Is that about right? So it should swing that much.
If Rona makes a good
Just
shot
give
here,
it time to swing because we can't be in the open even if I'm second shot.
she can get herself out of trouble, but she better make it. You're right, Linda, or there'll be a big end thrown at you. You just got your 2 back. You'd hate to give a 2 away again.
Whoa line.
That's kind of
whoa
her
line.
thought process, I think.
Yeah, then all the way if you need it.
Where is
Whoa
it?
line, whoa line, whoa line, whoa!
Is it here?
Yep, and yep,
Got it
yep,
here?
yep.
Come on!
Whoa line, yep.
Quick! All the way!
Hurry!
Hurry!
And with the support of those here at Braehead trying to bring it right up on top.
Getting her shot just the same, curled a little too much.
Went all the way for line.
Hindsight's a great thing, Linda, because it's kind of the reason why I would have
I was
gone in
like,
there
well, like, it's
myself if
fine.
I'd been Kelly, because even if you go around that guard and you stop at the top of the 12-foot or
that
top of
good
the
ice?
8-foot, you take away,
not
Vic,
wanna
this
overcurl it.
this
Even
freeze
if you
that
end
that
up-
Rona almost made perfectly.
the worst
That
thing.
just curled a little
Because
too
even
much.
if you end up here,
Canada's still
say
line
doesn't
one.
curl
She can
enough,
freeze to
you
the
can
face
use
of the
that
red
for our
line.
next one, right? I'd be tempted to take a hair more for you. Yeah, I think so. Just to be safe, eh? Okay.
Just going to try and freeze it on the face of this one right here. Put it right on the face, right in that position there.
Linda, what's the difficulty they're having right now in the judging of the brushing? Because as Rona said, you know, we should have been on the other side. We could have swept it all the way. But unlike the on-off, which we seem to say is a good thing, here they're sort of guessing.
Well, they're getting on it early, and once they do that, it runs very straight. But otherwise, it's a very consistent curl. So I think rather than right now, they seem to be a little panicky about the line and the weight. Just as you say, it should be a little more of the back and forth communication on those brushing shots.
Line's
This is
tight.
all brushing. With this ice
Line's
being
real
so
tight.
keen, you can carry it
Hurry
a
for
long
line.
way.
Hard for everything.
Line needs it for weight as well.
Yes!
Whoa!
Whoa, whoa!
Whoa! Whoa! Whoa! Whoa! Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
Okay, Kelly.
And that one over curls too.
That's good weight, just tight.
Yeah, you were just tight. The weight was perfect. The weight was perfect.
I know. The explanation.
She might give you something if she comes and down and tries there. She might give you a double.
Yeah, good.
If she comes and ticks off.
Yeah.
Yeah, the weight was perfect.
Yeah, I know.
It's good weight. You know the weight.
I
It's
was
so
concentrating so much on the weight. It was like
Three. But I could come in and I can read it. So
Well, what to do? What to do? You got to be careful. You put this. She's looking at coming down in this area and trying
even not
to
back
freezing
off,
onto
but
the
just
face of
punch
this one
that
here.
and sit there.
Because you can't get a rock anywhere in this area here and set up
I
that
can't
double.
afford to
So
sit there 'cause I
you
leave
got to
for
be
the
careful.
double.
Yeah. You have to make sure you catch. Or at the very worst,
I mean,
it's John.
It's not too much of a, freeze that. It's all right because I can't move it then with a double. You know, as long as I'm freezing it.
Yeah.
But I mean, if I can move that and move to here.
The other
There
thing
has
is,
to be a sweeping weight.
if it's drawn too much, you could always clip off that one and come over.
Come over.
You know, if it draws too much. You know, as long as we get that one before the red.
Okay, if I play that weight, back 4-8,
Back full weight.
and just try and get the nudge off it
And then to there.
to lie 2. And if not, if I, you know, even if I'm catching that one and rolling to
To
here.
there. Yeah. Also, don't leave a double on, that's the only thing.
Just watch it with the line though, because you saw she was much tighter and hers still past the guard.
So we're just coming back full weight.
Just back 4-8.
Either freeze. Right.
Dead freeze is perfect because you can't move it. But if you're moving the yellow at all, you need to get it away.
Is that okay?
You have to be very careful with this, Linda.
I like
Yeah,
this.
this is a very tricky shot. Canada looking at a chance maybe to pick up a few. And the problem with the shot, as far as I see it, for what Rona has called, is she's called so
Well,
many options. And
mental note.
some of the things she's talked
time we
about
have one
require
around the guard,
various
she knows she's
weights.
gonna freeze to
If
it
you're
when
really
lines
playing a
come around the same
freeze, you
guard.
can't be thinking about all the other
You think so?
possibilities.
If she ever rolls out in the open, and she talked about ticking and rolling out, well, that would be a disaster.
Could she ignore, Linda, the left side altogether and play something to the right that would do her some good or not?
Well, there would be things she could do that would force Kelly to draw to the full 4 near the button for 2. She could probably try and protect the situation and make that happen. But what she's trying to do is tap the yellow shot rock and sit 2. This is a very tough shot.
Hard!
Janice Watt closest to the stone. It's Fiona McDonald out in front.
Hard!
Got to get it by that one. Oh, what has she set up now?
Well, it's a good thing it didn't roll any further. They are.
Gotta just tick this, eh?
Yep. Well, Kelly, even if you over curl a hair, we're coming into that, we're going to get 2 anyway, right? You're going to get 2 by, if you hit half a rock, anywhere on this side, if you hit half a rock, we're getting 2 anyway. Double's there for 3.
Maybe right,
And I
Julie?
said, even if we over curl a bit, we hit half a rock, we're bumping into that, and we're sitting 2 anyway, right?
Absolutely.
Maybe.
It's safe, huh?
Yeah,
maybe? Oh,
maybe.
it's for sure. It's perfect. Half a rock, you're
I'll
going
be
to get
right
2
here.
anyway,
I'll be
right?
up here though, Julie. Yeah, it's
It's
totally
easy.
thin. Not easy. You don't want to hit theirs on
It's easy, you guys. It's there for 3.
Well, no, it's there for 4.
Well,
Well,
if you hit
3,
a
yeah,
third,
they'll
if you
probably
hit a
lose my
third, you're
back
getting
one.
into that. No, you can't miss it.
Right? What do you what?
Yeah, yeah.
A turn.
In turn for sure.
Yeah.
Got lots of room by the guard.
How's that?
That much ice?
Yeah. Well, we just got a ticket, right?
Normal then.
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
We
you
just
heard
got
the
a
explanation.
Yeah.
In here, hitting this one thin, coming across and trying to catch
I'm not
this
gonna
one.
throw too much.
Well, Julie thought it was easy. But going back to what you said earlier, how much Kelly Law relies on the input of Georgina Wheatcroft. And Georgina was right down there.
Yeah, they work, all three of them work very well together. You never see Diane usually involved in the conversations, but and that's fine. I mean, each team is different. Each team has a pattern.
Well, as a lead, you weren't involved in the discussion.
Never opened my mouth, Vic.
Here we go,
Whoa.
final stone.
Close.
Chance for two, maybe three.
Whoa!
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 Whoa! Yeah!
Big scrub now. Hold it. 1, 2, bounce it, and they'll get their deuce.
That was a lot tougher than it looked, that double.
Team Canada gets 2 back here in 5.
It was tough.
They'll go to the 5th end break, up by a pair, Canada leading Scotland.
I was like a little gut.
This classic curling moment is brought to you by the Globe and Mail. She will always be Canada's Queen of Hearts, and on 3 occasions, she was Queen of the World as well. Sandra Schmerler, along with teammates Jan Betker, Joan McCusker, and Marcy Gutereit, dominated the 90s with 3 world championships. Team of the decade? Certainly. Best in history? Perhaps. Classic curling moments brought to you by the Globe and Mail. Well written, well read.
And it was nice this week. They paid tribute to Sandra Schmerler with a moment of silence. We've played 5 of this women's semifinal, and Canada with a 5-3 lead over Scotland. Kelly Law looking to move on to Saturday's final. The magnificent Abbey in Paisley, Scotland, nearby Glasgow. Let's take a look at the numbers after 5, brought to you by True Value Hardware.
Well, we thought it would be an interesting game, and it has been an exchange of twos. Hammer has been all important, and the numbers are not that great. The hitting percentage better for Scotland and also for Canada, but overall Canada just with a 4 percentage point edge, and there have been some wide open misses, some big mistakes by both teams. So opportunities in the second 5, and they'll have to capitalize on them in order to win this game.
Great support for both teams, Scotland and Canada, here at the Braehead. As we say, brand new, just opened. This is in fact the second event held here at this facility. Seats around 4,500, and it is part of this wonderful shopping and retail complex of some 150 stores and eating areas. There's a skating rink. In fact, it reminds me a lot of a smaller version of West Edmonton Mall, but without the amusement area.
And how many shops have Debbie and Janie found of those 150?
I think Janie's been in a few, I know that.
And as we go inside, this is right next door to the Braehead Arena, and this circular skating rink. And it is the most curious thing to see the Zamboni come out, and a Zamboni in Scotland.
I'll tell you one thing, in-turn and out-turn would liven that rink up.
Well, it's easy to go. You just keep going around in circles. You don't have to worry about
Can't
coming
lose them.
back. That's right. As we go to the 6th, Canada up 5-3. Scotland with the hammer, and this is the Canadian lead, Diane Nilsson.
Well, it's been one of those games so far, Ray, where they really haven't capitalized on their own opportunities. There's been mistakes that have given up the twos, but the front rocks haven't been played very often, and we haven't seen a lot of the come-arounds that we saw during round-robin play by both of these teams to set up big ends.
And we're going back to that last end too, Linda. I mean, that was, Julie made that double for 3 sound pretty simple. That was, I mean, she got the 2 out of it. She was right about that. That was a very difficult shot for more than 2. Good shot.
Yeah, I need to get
Janice
off the
Watt.
line, I think. Well,
Yep, come on. Yep, 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 yep. All the way.
She's a former junior champion as well, world junior champion from 1992.
Hard. Right off the line. Come on. She only slipped that a fraction and it just held the line. Yeah.
Front comes right.
Scotland's had a great deal of good results at the World Juniors, men and women, over the years. It's until Vic mentioned it earlier, I didn't really realize that they had never won a World Championship, senior championship for women.
Well, mind you, you look at the women's championship started in '79. You look at the '90s, and you think about Sandra Schmerler's team for Canada winning 3.
That's true.
And guess what? Elizabeth Gustafsson won 4.
4, that's
They're
right.
running out of years to win this championship.
That's right.
Holy.
It's interesting to note that Elizabeth Gustafsson, the 4-time world champion from Sweden, was here again this year, but she failed to qualify, finishing with a record of 5-4.
That was really a shock.
Yes, all the way. Never up, never up.
She just never, Elizabeth just never got on track, Linda, I guess. You know, it seemed to be, it seemed to be Elizabeth herself, because her team looked like they were playing very well.
There's a miss.
And another.
We could do that, or we could guard it. Okay, George.
And missed by quite a
Easy,
bit.
lass.
Pass away.
It's tight.
Got line.
Might be in. It's really keen, guy. It's really keen. Yeah. It's there by itself.
Nope. It's there.
Yeah, it's there by itself. It's so keen.
Here you go, George.
Good shot.
Not a bad shot at all.
To lie 3 without, but it
It's really keen down there.
points out what you suggested earlier by your stopwatch, that in fact maybe it's a little quicker, a little keener.
A little faster and definitely sliding. And I mentioned brushing makes such a huge difference. You just can't overthrow it.
Fiona works for Capital Bank, which is part of the Bank of Scotland.
Yeah, quick. Yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa. It's gonna go back to single.
The angle didn't look like it was there when you looked at them, but that's the kind of thing that you can't tell when they're frozen like that, Linda. And it turns out that it was there to get the back one as well.
Right, it was something that Rona really wasn't paying attention to. You can see her, she was looking at the top rock, but did get the one off the back.
Georgina works for Labatt.
One of the interesting things about this building, Vic, that the 1,600 Canadians that are over here really did get a little bit of a surprise, because they're so used to going to a curling event and, you know, sitting and having their popcorn and peanuts and maybe
fudge.
even and fudge yeah, and an ice cream cone and maybe even the odd libation but there's no eating or drinking allowed inside the arena facility.
No, there isn't.
Heard a few comments about that, you know.
Well, and too, there's a lovely food court in the mall, so people could have brought food in from that area. But well, you had to go out, eat, have your lunch, come back.
Yep.
Fatty.
Yep. Yep. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa. She's changing handle.
Pretty nice shot, just the same, a little deep.
So that remains the same from here to our country. When you play in arenas, you have to put on the extra rotation.
Yeah, you have to have a very positive rotation. We talk about it all the time.
Out there.
Lot line.
Julie works for BCAA.
No line.
And some of those Canadians that
No,
came over
let
from
it
British
in.
Columbia went to Julie's travel agency to book their trip to Glasgow.
So Julie
No line at
got
all.
commission off this world? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know about that.
Oh, okay.
She helped them out.
All right.
Hey, Julie.
That's why, that explains why that one lady was yelling down to her about, I don't like my seat. Right in the middle of her backswing.
Right. Now, Julie's still having difficulties because the one thing with that extra rotation is sometimes you don't get quite the movement.
But good if you can tap. Play a back ring. No more.
No more, okay?
So the problem with Julie's rocks is they're just not getting the movement, and if you keep leaving them open and letting Scotland have a little tap, in this case Margaret Morton trying to play a little tap and roll, Scotland could build up a bit of an end here.
Margaret works for a call center company called CommuCall.
Yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Never. Stay with her. Never, ever, ever, ever. Whoa, whoa. Right off, right off, right off. Right off. Whoa.
This one didn't move as much as they wanted, and it is wide open for Canada, and you can see the other red stone is available.
Try that.
Normal then?
Normal.
Yeah. I gotta hit it on the outside, eh?
Touch on the outside, make the double.
Yep. Whoa.
Close.
Whoa.
Curl a little.
Okay.
So Scotland continues to lie
I
one.
wasn't sure. I thought that was a rip rate spot.
Thought it would curl a little more.
Yeah. Good weight, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's open now, Kelly.
Yeah, a little bit.
This is a nice opportunity for Scotland, Linda, to get around the half around the guard and top of the 8 foot, top of the 4 foot.
They've been slowly building up this end, and it is the red corner guard that will provide some of the protection for these rocks. It's the rock they put up right at the start of the end.
Yeah, then. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Right off, right off, right off, right off. Never. Yep, then now. Come on,
bend it.
Okay? Yep.
Get there, Maggie.
Just don't want it too far to leave the double, that's the thing. So if she lifts the double, we can put the guard in.
Pretty much, eh?
Right there.
Yeah.
Double's there.
Okay.
It's almost a nose hit. Hitting this one here, trying to catch this one here on the way by. Make your double.
Linda, do you agree with what Rona was saying? You know, I can't come too deep. I don't want to leave the double, but
Fine, but if, yeah.
you don't want to take yourself out of it. You still have to remain aggressive, don't you? I mean,
Well, they're just taking too much ice in this spot. They're not getting the curl they think they're going to get, and so the rock's wide open. So they would have brought it if it was going to curl. It just wouldn't.
Yep. Hurry!
Yeah!
Hurry!
run it back, catch a corner, no. Just missed their own as well.
That was close. Thought I had it.
It was close.
Good shot.
As we
Thought I
look
had
at
that.
it again.
Yeah, I saw it going though.
Yeah.
Good shot. I like where our rock is.
I had that. Wanted to make sure I got the nose in down.
Yeah.
So
Try and tuck around, get it around here, into this area here, right about in here if she can.
half round the yellow. Just
And
front round,
Rona's
even if it's
biography,
100%
she
shot,
put
you
down
just can't raise it.
housewife. And when I
Otherwise the
said to
lines
her, I saw that, she says, no, I like the Canadian description better, domestic engineer.
Whoa, line, whoa, line. Whoa.
Where is it?
Whoa.
Point it in.
Whoa, guys.
She's
whoa.
been to 3 European championships.
Whoa.
Her best performance was second in '98.
Whoa,
But
right
this
on.
is her first world championship.
Whoa.
That looks like it has lots.
It was a golden opportunity for Scotland to really set it up.
More than enough as it just hangs on the back of the 12.
What split was that? 296.
And do you play the tap
Stuff 'em
back,
through the house.
Linda? Do you try and tuck around yourself?
Let's bump it.
She does straight come around, but I like the bump because we
No,
got
I like
some
the
play.
bump. I like
we
the
got
bump.
some play
Yeah,
on
so
it.
many places to go with it,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so
Practically anywhere on that side,
to
3/4 on that side.
to draw right there.
The center?
Can tap this rock here, back into this area here.
It will hang, you know.
I know it will for a bit, eh? And then it will
Not
finish.
anywhere early, right?
Yeah, we want it early. I think that's perfect.
Did you shake my telestrator on purpose, knowing I was going to make a circle there, Vic? Or try to make one?
Did I? I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Well, that's okay. I just thought maybe it was premeditated.
No. Oh, my.
You're a tricky little guy, you know, Vic. A little Swiss guy. Eh?
That's right.
You are Swiss,
Thank
I
you.
know that.
That's right. I just do those things.
What do you think, Di? You usually throw the outturn here. For ice. Because I'm going to be throwing, well, I mean, you can throw. I want line. I want line on the back red.
We can't afford to open it up. Like, is there
Yeah.
two, right?
Yeah. So anywhere early, right?
It's a good example of how everyone on the team has to
Hey, guys.
be concentrating on a consistent basis about the ice themselves. Yes, the skip calls the shot, reads the ice, and that's part of the that she's the quarterback. But you will look often to team members for
No line yet.
what do you think about this? You threw it down here and that kind of thing. And it's
No
important that
line.
you know
Whoa
what the
line.
answers are.
Whoa line,
Got it,
close.
Have
Carl.
a solid,
Close,
valid
yes.
opinion.
Yep.
Room! Room!
Final stone for Kelly Law here in the 6th.
Yeah!
Scotland with the hammer.
Hurry for weight!
Bump it up. Close it off. And so shot stone is still Scotland. And now can they draw for 2?
Yeah, they told me you had the weight, but you didn't.
It just never had the weight at any time.
It's okay, you're forcing her to draw.
No, I knew I didn't have to.
You didn't think so?
For Rona,
Yeah,
it is
right.
the same draw she tried on
I'm
her
not taking much
first.
more ice, but just watch in case it's that fraction of further. Because I'll need to play less weight than the last one. As long as you're in the white.
And so how does this play with your head?
That
Well,
would
it
get
should be a
more
very
ice, not
positive
swing
thing
it
because
well.
she threw the first one. She knows she came out too strongly with it. She knows she just has to pull it back a little bit.
Yep, all the way. All the way.
Need a hand?
Yep.
Put it in the white. Oh, no. Just pull back a little bit. Did she pull the string on this? And it's all hands on deck now. Morton, McDonald, and Watt trying to get it to the 8-foot. Don't want to lose the opportunity. And they will.
What spot was that? One red.
So Scotland settles for 1.
What'd you say?
Kelly Law and the Canadians will take a 5-4 lead into the 7th
She had perfect draw weight.
here in Glasgow. The key shot is brought to you by Husky Oil and Mohawk retailers, leaders in fuel, food, and services.
So you see by the scoreboard, the hammer had been all important. In the last few ends, the teams had swapped twos, and this is a chance for Rona Martin to draw in for the second point, get the game even. but you knew after throwing it strongly she wasn't going to do it again, and this one is light. The clock shows you exactly what's happening. She needs to be at about 14 seconds hog to hog for the draw. She's at about guard weight, and although all 4 sweepers are on it, they will not get to the 8-foot for the point. That's a big miss by Rona.
So instead of scoring the 2 to tie, the single leaves Canada in front by 1, and the Canadians' Kelly Law and her team from the Richmond Curling Club will have the hammer as we play in 7.
Well, we had the advantage of listening to the Canadian team talk during the break, and you know, they're very positive. They like the situation, and they knew that Rona would throw the rock up in front. That's exactly what she did, and they said, hey, we're going to come around. Now, Diane Nelson, unfortunately, once again in that situation, has slipped behind the tee line. You know, you can just bite the 12-foot there. You can bite the 8-foot. You know, be in the middle of the 8-foot or top 4-foot, just not behind the tee line.
I wouldn't even be worried if you were in front of the rings a couple of inches. It can't be hit. It could be tapped up later. No, Diane is struggling with that draw weight, that's for sure.
So Janice Watt with her second stone comes right down on top.
Kelly clearly tapped top 4-foot. She doesn't want to freeze back to it. She wants this around the guard, top of the 4-foot.
Same weight, same weight.
It's not a good sign.
And both Julie Skinner and Georgina Wheatcroft will just
It's coming down pretty good.
walk it down the ice.
Looks like they're out in Stanley Park, just having a little
Freeze it.
shot down there. Starting to dig in a bit now.
Okay.
Draw, die.
What's happening here, Vic? You can see the game is being now, you know, closed down to a smaller circle. They're now playing inside the 4-foot. That's what happens. It's the kind of thing that happens when you just keep slipping behind that tee line.
Fiona McDonald.
Wall line, never line. Wall line.
Needs a wee bit. Needs a wee bit.
Okay then. You've got loads of room.
Oh, waist fine, waist good.
Oh, right off then.
Waist good.
Right off, off, off.
Right
off,
up.
Janice, never,
Right up.
never.
Right
Go
up.
to the inside. Whoa, whoa.
Well, that curls a lot.
You can see it moving towards center, and it really is a very late finish with this ice. She was hoping to get it to curl a little bit more. Now Georgina trying the same sort of draw.
Got room, got room. Whoa!
This is a key shot here because this one will cover the pin almost, I think, Linda, if she gets it to the face.
No, it's got to get to the middle. It's got to get to the center.
No, it's not. Her rocks aren't curling, eh? Weight was good.
Now, Julie said, well, her rocks aren't curling. Is that a case of just a little bit of weight, or did her rock maybe just run straighter?
No, she may have. They talked about that actually in the second end. They referred to the fact that Georgina has rocks were running a little straighter, so she may have a couple
Freeze
stones
isn't bad, but you can't move ours at all.
that are running a step
Go for
straighter.
that.
Obviously, she does have, because the weight was pretty good.
The dead freeze, can't move it, okay? It's dead tee.
Okay. Yeah. Same weight, no more.
Concentration, and you heard the skip
Heavy.
say,
Whoa.
can't move it.
Heavy.
Dead
Tapping.
tee. Fiona McDonald.
Yellow. Strictly tapping.
Not sure if she likes it or not.
Well, the angles didn't turn out very badly for Scotland, but definitely the call was to be shorter, and the players are really struggling with a little bit extra keen ice today.
Hey, George.
See, I was aye, okay,
Yes! Hurry!
Gaia Nelson closest to the stone. Julie Skinner out in front. Got it by, they do.
She's got no weight.
And now they're angle frozen. Scotland lying two back of the 4 foot without the hammer here in 7.
That's horrible.
No, we had to move the back one.
She keeps
We gotta
thinking
get
it's
rid of the
straight.
back stuff.
She hooked it.
I think it was underthrown too. It
3-1
was thrown down. I think Kelly expected a little more weight than that.
It's running on a fair bit, I think.
Well, we've seen a series of mistakes by both of these teams in the last few ends, and now it's time to try and cap this in for Scotland.
Front ring! Front ring! Your line's okay. Whoa then, whoa never, line's okay. Whoa line, front ring. Whoa! Freeze at the end of it's here. Come on. Quick!
Well, I take Scotland had a great chance to really put Canada in trouble, and that's just way too deep. That can be anywhere. You know, Julie Sutton can get them out of a jam here, but coming down, you can see it again.
I think
It's
we
just
better go here.
they decide to sweep it at the
Yep.
very end, Linda, to get it right down, I guess.
there
But
we can use,
you
right?
stop it short there, middle of the 8 foot, top of
Can
the
we
8
get
foot.
shot?
Boy, I tell you, Canada is in trouble.
These
Nail
are
hole
big
sitting
mistakes
there.
we're seeing,
Okay.
and I know it's a
Right
world
there.
championship and maybe a few
Right
nerves,
here.
but
Okay.
it's continuously players being a little too deep with these shots.
How important is this shot, Linda? You've got to make this one, I'll tell
This is
you.
where you need your third.
Well, Julie asked what's available, and Kelly said the nail hole, so let's get that, and that. We'll start with that.
Graham.
Try to get one,
Stay
maybe
with it.
more here in
Wait for the
7.
line.
Wait for the line. Line's pretty good.
Line. Whoa, then.
Line's good. Yes.
Whoa!
Whoa.
Whoa!
Close.
Yep!
Whoa. Hurry.
Can't bounce off it.
Easy, guys. Huh? Would have been better if we didn't tick that top one, eh?
So Vic, Scotland sitting one. Who is second shot?
Second shot is the Yellowstone.
But you have to be there. Or
Just sit there.
Can't be light. Or how many are they lying? How many are they lying? Are we lying second or one?
I think we might be
we lie. I mean, that's good, but if you roll too far, you leave that in the freeze. And you put one there.
It's a bit less than the last time. What was the split
So
last
again,
time?
the request has gone out. Beat top 8. To Margaret Morton.
Where are you? Never line, you're tighter line. No. Wall line. Never line, you're tight of line the whole way. Whoa. 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 Whoa.
Well, she got the top 8. Did she get the right line?
Pretty close.
Just drilling it too much, it's tight for line.
Canada might be able to come off, freeze to their own. Just roll in a wee bit.
Draw weight.
Tight for line.
I like
Can't
draw.
afford it. I gotta make it now.
Draw to here.
Gotta make it right now. Get it right in there.
Just straight draw.
Same weight. Same weight. What split did you get on that? What split? Same
Straight
weight.
draw. Right
Yeah.
there.
So about the same weight? Yeah. Out.
Whoa, for line. No, line.
Out.
Right off. Right off.
Stay with it.
No,
Stay with
never, never. Right off. Hey, Julie.
I think it's still Scotland's
Didn't
shot,
curl.
and now
I got it out
that
and it
stone that
came
Julie
out
just
back.
threw is second shot.
You know, Vic, it's an interesting end to go back and
Great
think
weight,
about
eh?
what started this
Didn't
whole
wanna
end. This is a
come.
great example of, you know,
I
we
got it
talk
out.
so much about the placement of stones, Linda and I, and all the top players. Now you go right back in this end. The first rock was thrown short, and Diane, I'm not picking on Diane, I'm just,
No.
it's a great example of how important those positioning of those stones. Go right back to the very first shot for Canada when Diane went behind the tee line and then the build-up started. So it's a terrific example of how you can get yourself. And had Scotland closed that off a little earlier, Linda, I'll tell you, I mean, right now, they're only lying one, but it could even be worse.
Well, in fairness to Diane, I don't think there's been a player that has actually been high enough in the house based on the call. They've all been too deep. Both teams, I mean. And yes, Diane started it off by going deep, but there have been chances by both teams to really set things up, and they've all been too deep.
No, never.
Oh. Yeah!
Come on, Ned! Come on! Come on! Hurry! Hurry!
Whoa!
You know, it's an interesting spot because it seems the further you get out, the more it comes down.
Well, because I took that wee bit more ice, you know, I was panicking, thinking, right, when I don't... Because if you're short, you would lose it. And that's what I'm saying, I could go in and half-check the yellow. But your seat can't afford to spring that yellow.
That's there too.
Coming the other way.
That's looking pretty ugly.
That's a pretty nice way of saying it, too.
The thing is she's got this, right?
She can hammer that. I know, she can hammer that and end up looking pretty sweet.
That's what they're
We
looking
can
at.
play the tick, or we can trade the out turn.
She can hammer this, is what I guess what they're
Or
saying.
guard it, guard it.
Could you play a
No, I don't
thin
like it
raise
either.
on your own and just sort of tick it over?
She could lie 4 if she hammers it right.
I don't know how much of that Yellowstone that's in the side
Although
of
she
the
could jam
tee line
us
she
too
can
if she
even
hits it wrong.
see in front of that red one being right in front of it.
This out turn draw looks pretty appealing too, but we don't know it, right? What about this out turn draw? Get another one in there. Yeah?
Why don't we do it now? Why don't we do it now?
Get another one in there anyways, George, if we can make it perfect.
Let's go in.
Yep. Yep. Let's make it.
Yeah.
Well, they've gone to this out-turn draw into that area there.
You betcha. Okay. Okay, guys. Same out here.
This is a spot we haven't seen as much. We actually talked about it earlier in the game when they were playing a lot of the other side and saying maybe this side would give them a more curl, but it's a little bit of a question mark.
We're out there. Yes, for line. Hurry!
It's all up to Nelson, and Wheatcroft now fighting to get it by that center guard. Got it by now. How far can they drag it? Got it by that one. Take it right back
What
now.
a shot
Look at
that is. What a shot, and great brushing, Linda. I honestly didn't think it was getting by, did you?
It looked like it was really moving, as we said. We thought maybe this was the side that had lots of curl, but just by, now you have to get it by the next one and just by the one in the house.
Boy, that is great brushing, I'll tell you.
And a little inside roll as well as it got across the face.
Try to play it that way, right? Or I'll just hang it out in the weeds.
Well, you do like to get them by close, Kelly, but I'm not sure you had to be quite that close.
That's good. Yeah. As long as I don't open it up, if I can just try and nudge it, even if I'm only sitting here, she's got to come round there again and sit in that. Yeah. The thing is, we can't risk her moving
guys
that
from
red.
Hudson Bay
No,
Mining and Smelting to get that one out of there.
No, I can't risk her being able to move that at all. Yeah. But I don't think she could at weight.
I don't think so, because that one's going to come back to there. Should lie short, staying short.
Aye, but if she moves that red, that way, aye, these two come into play. So I've got to get that red in. Just take the middle of the white.
Just not to tap it, just enough.
She's just going to tap this stone back here into this area here.
Can't get shot out it, but even if I'm in the 1 foot, because she can go around the side she went. If she plays a back 4 weight and nudges her own stone, the red moves 2 inches and she's lying 3.
That's right.
So nudge it. I don't want to open it though, so I'd rather hit it on the nose and not get shot than.
It's a good angle on this rock, but the tough part is the weight. Just has to be the perfect touch weight to get it to the button.
Yep, then if you need it. Yep, yep.
Line, yep. Line.
Wait!
Come on!
Wait!
What? Oh no, but line's wrong. Okay, runner. Okay.
Still looks to be Canada lying 1. Second shot is Scotland. But is there something there to maybe squeeze a stone over? Maybe make another draw in.
Try it again.
Just play the same
If
draw.
you wick the guard, you wick the guard.
Can't
eh?
do
You got
anything
nothing else.
bad.
Yep. Same shot, eh? That's a hair more ice.
I don't think I can make this, but. Yeah, you can. Well, I don't think the shot's there because you got to play it with weight.
She's going to try and get around here like she did last time. You heard her comments. She doesn't think I can. I don't think I can even make it.
I think she's talking about the one that Scotland was afraid of actually tapping the yellow that is shot onto the red behind it to score the other yellow. Okay. I think you have to play it to draw to the face, and if you happen to get that curl, the same amount of curl
touch
and
less
touch
or
less,
more ice, so
it's a little touch less, touch more weight, then it would move it back a tiny bit.
And as we play this final stone of the 7th, only 1 stone is out of play. Canada lying 1, looking to possibly get it 2 here in the 7th.
Close!
Now again, it's Nelson and Wheatcroft. This one jump on them too quickly. Again, get it by. They do. One more time. Can you get it by again? They do. Moving enough. Yes.
3, I think she moved it enough.
For 2, for sure. They'll take a look around the edge of the button.
Looked for a moment like she may have moved it up, but I guess not, Linda.
So a couple of wonderful draws by Kelly Law. And it comes down to that front end of Diane Nelson and Georgina Wheatcroft. And Canada moves in front by 3 through 7. The key shot brought to you by Husky Oil and Mohawk retailers, leaders in fuel, food, and services, and how one shot can turn it around.
Well, you know, Vic, in this end, Scotland had a couple of chances, Linda, to really, put Canada in deep, deep trouble. And comes down to Kelly Law's first stone, and she's got this wide out turn draw. And you mentioned that we really hadn't seen a lot of the curl shots here, so the ice was a little bit of a guess, and they just get it by the high one. And then watch, they have to keep on it all the way to get it by the next one. And she glues it on the face of the stone on the button. That is a key shot.
And then she matched it with a great second stone to pick up 2. And she wasn't very far away from getting a 3rd point. Canada now 7-4. As we go to the 8th, and this is the Canadian lead. Diane Nelson, she came top 8 with her first. The corner went up from Scotland, and this is, as I say, her second stone.
And the Canadian team really have to give Kelly a big thank you, because that end was going all Scotland's way for most of the second half of it anyways. The rocks were in better position for Scotland. And Kelly really pulled that one out.
There's nothing wrong with that.
That's why they pay you skips the big money.
Yeah. There is that saying, but I don't know if I ever saw that extra money.
Yep, quick.
Janice Watt.
Quick. Hard, girls, come on. Now, whoa then, whoa. Just leave the guard. Okay.
Very nice to get them both off, and leaves the center line guard.
Do you want to nose it? Cut the corner off a little?
Straight peel. Maybe like this.
Right there's not bad, or just a little flop that way.
We can use it then. It's tight, right?
You can use it.
I know yeah. What kind of weight?
I think the final decision was to hit it just on the, just off the nose and try and roll a little bit towards the corner guard side.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Be the right side of the sheet.
Sitting there, right? We might as well roll it out now. Hey, George. I'm on the wrong side.
Scotland will now try to use that corner guard and get something buried. Need at least two this end, Rona and her team, to get back in this game. And let's not forget to, that if they do get the two, now we're talking about the last few ends with that 4-rock free guard zone roll, and the chances to steal does increase.
Whoa, right off. Off. Back to off.
Just a reminder, our coverage of the Masters continues from Augusta. Second round today at 3:30 Eastern. That's 12:30 Pacific. As we approach the 4:30 hour here in Glasgow, it's 11:30 Eastern time.
Well, they talked about drawing just for a moment, and I don't like the draw at all. I would have ripped the corner guard right off the ice.
So now I think they've gone for the one or the other shot.
Got the back one. That's fine, but you could also just, and that's why they played it tight. They talked about drawing to start with, and that would have been disastrous as far as I'm concerned. And you could just walk up there and just peel that corner guard off and then take your chances. You may get a rollout or a double later on, but they get it by the front one. And actually, it's great. It rolls almost right out. It does roll out of the rings, but you don't want anything back there. We just saw what can happen when you have those rocks behind.
The draw call would be a
never
lying in front of the
never
back by the sweeper shot.
Whoa,
We
off.
are not playing the draw.
Off, Janice, off.
Any takeout is fine.
Let it bend. It's coming now. Got loads of room, loads of room, loads of room. Loads. Changing handle again, that's really weird.
That's not the first time that's happened to Fiona today, where the stone has changed handle.
Yeah, I'd rather peel the guard.
Now, if you're not very experienced with arena ice, with this Scottish team is not as experienced as the Canadian team, you may not understand that lack of rotation and what the arena ice will do to it.
Atta girl, Kelly. Rip it off of there. They looked at it for just a moment, and Julie was in the hack, said, let's peel it.
Oh, yes.
Yep. Third! Hurry!
Before her fingers left the handle, she was calling them on. And they get away with the jam at the back.
That's why you don't like anything. We just talked about
Yes.
that. That's why you don't like anything back there whatsoever.
If there's a jam, I jam it.
See it again, almost jams on this stone and stays in the ring.
Now, Diane wouldn't have been able to sweep back there with the world rules, but she followed it back to sort of point out to Kelly the angle.
Good call by the Canadian skip. Now you can just exchange the stones, try and get some rolls, try and get them together, try and get a double, get yourself out of this.
All the way then. Come on. Gotta be here. Come on. Quick. Look up. Here. Whoa then. Whoa, never.
Good split.
Whoa, Fiona,
Victor,
whoa,
just a quick question, if I may. Was the kilt a little cool? Because the wind was blowing a little.
It
Did
was.
you find it a little cool?
It was a little chilly. The most difficult thing is just in the van. How do you sit? What do you do with those knees? So they stay together. You cross your legs.
Wow. It's a delicate cross at
It
the
is.
ankles, I think,
Oh,
Vic, is what it's called for.
Thanks. My hands in my lap. That's nice.
Didn't have to go that far. With
I think I'm poking them. I'm poking those a bit, I think.
Go for the food? Yeah. Want to put a butter? Gotta be in the house.
Well, you heard the one term that you often hear from the Scottish teams that's a little bit different, and that's barrier weight. Well, the barrier is the bumper at the back. So we have heard bumper weight in Canada. It's barrier weight in Scotland.
Yeah. Whoa.
No. No.
Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. Quick. Quick. Good.
Good, Maggie.
So Scotland line 2 with the hammer here in 8.
So far, well executed by Scotland, using the corner guard to set up
I didn't want to come
an extra point.
in
And
Well, no, when they got it down, just people don't see, but it was hanging.
I knew this.
Player comparisons are brought to you by Karcher Quality Cleaning Equipment.
Now, you remember early in the game, Rona was up in the 80% range. Her numbers have dropped, and Janice Watt, the low person on the Scottish team, and it has been the leads, actually, that have not been setting up those rocks, and as Ray mentioned, that's why the ends have not built well. And still lower numbers than we might expect for all the players.
But 2 wonderful shots by Kelly Law got Canada out of trouble.
Wow.
In 7, they have a 3-point lead as we play here in the 8th.
Clean.
Whoa.
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 Gonna sit there. Shot, Kelly.
Look out.
Good shot.
a bunny lad, a bunny lad he is.
Rudder.
Yeah, a good-looking guy, you know that?
Well, you know.
And what was that tartan called?
The Flower of Scotland.
It was a flower of Scotland in that meadow, Mr. Router.
Yes, well, very nicely put.
Draw to lie 2.
Whoa. Whoa.
Well, she has struggled with the draw weight. Remember
Wait,
the
sit down.
chances in 6 for 2.
T-line.
Rona missed both of her draws.
Not behind.
Whoa.
Come on. Come on. Hurry. Hurry. Come on.
Quick.
Okay. Actually quite
Gets it there for a second shot.
Almost lost it.
A little casual on that for sure.
That was ice I gave you to draw around the guard. He's over it.
Yeah,
It's
I like that. Just hit and roll in. Let her hit. It's just almost even, right?
I don't want her to.
Same shot.
So if she noses, or at least if she noses that, I can just draw. Then we can try. Ah!
Guys all throw the same shot.
She's going to hit this here. Get it out of there. She went to the same shot, she said.
I think
Same shot.
in many cases you would hit
Probably
the other
gonna get
stone and
two,
maybe
but,
roll in,
you
but
know.
they're just duplicating a shot, being very sure of getting rid of something. nice for Canada. They have the control of this game with the 3-point lead. Even if they give a couple.
Yep. Hard.
Clean.
Clean, 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 clean.
Clean. Whoa.
Close.
Whoa.
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 Whoa. Just sitting there, that darn thing. Good shot.
And the shooter sits right there, top 12, so it'll be a draw for 2. For Scotland and Rona Martin.
I thought it was going to go, but it didn't. That's fine. Good shot.
Yeah.
Good one.
Okay, Cillian.
Well, it's a textbook and to show how a corner guard can set up an extra point. You know, they finally got one buried completely behind it in front of the tee line. And Canada ripped off the corner guard and exchanged stones, and that's how you get 2.
Now, Rona has changed from the way they've played many of the draws down here to this turn, and I think she believes the other turn is a very fast spot. She's trying to get a similar kind of weight as to her first one.
Come on!
Come on!
Come
Full
on!
12 foot. Remember earlier they missed one, and here they come again.
Guys, hard.
Full 12 is what they need for a second point. Full 12. Full 12. There's something not right about the draw weight in the mind of Rona Martin. Struggling just a little bit. She gets her deuce. Canada has a 1-point lead, and they'll have the hammer back when we return. There were no tiebreakers in women's play. Here are the final standings. Canada and Norway, and Canada awarded first place by virtue of their win over Doherty Nordby. So Canada plays Scotland in the semi we're watching now, and coming up shortly here at Braehead, Norway will play Switzerland, and it'll be Doherty Nordby, former world champion, as she practices. She'll be going against Switzerland and the team of Lucia Ebnother here at Braehead on semi-final. It's Ladies' Day. Ladies' Day Friday. The women's semi from the Ford World Curling Championships on TSN.
Now the first stone is out in front, and as I mentioned, Scotland getting close, and now we're into the couple of ends where you're going to see front rocks, and that 4-rock rule might come into play.
Okay, Di.
And again, the rock is too deep.
Yeah.
That's too deep again.
Yeah, it's funny. I just thinking that that's Diane again, and maybe we're into that same situation.
Now this is where the decision has to be made by Scotland. They could put another one short with the 4-rock rule and really go all out.
Yeah,
or
then
they
if you
could
need it
come
all the
in
way.
behind it right now.
All the way hard.
Front ring!
Yeah. You've got room. You've got room. You've got room. You've got room.
Front ring!
Front tee. Back tee.
Just back of the button, she did have room round that guard.
You can play the tick right now.
Janice Watt.
Tight. It's good.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting that rock off the center line somehow, too. You can't, remember now, it's the 4-rock rule. You can't take the front one off out of play. You can tick it over. And
Yeah?
Same weight? Doesn't matter.
Well, it might be easier to come this way.
We can
Just
get
a
to that,
tap,
I think.
like throw
Yeah.
back 4.
Okay.
I don't know. You think you can get it either way? Yeah.
Yeah, it's poking out that side.
Go here for now, Di.
Okay. Yep, that's good. Pretty close, Di.
Now they've gone back to the freeze attempt. They talked about tapping, and you could, if you tried to tap the rock, play it tightly, and then you would move over the front guard at least.
Easy. Gotta go. Lot of room. Gotta go. Tons of room. Tons of room.
We're there by itself.
Oh, way off.
And by that guard with more room.
Shot, Di.
Nice weight.
Great shot.
Back with you Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, 6 a.m. Pacific. The men's semifinal, Greg McCauley against the U.S. and Craig Brown. McCauley going through round robin at 8-1.
Well, if you're short, they can come round the other side and nudge it out. I think you need to be up to it. Yeah.
Interesting enough, Linda, the opportunity still is there for BC to potentially win 3 world championships. You haven't brought that up.
I've been very good, haven't I? Of course, if it does occur, and we certainly hope it does,
It sure looks
I will
good
let
for
you know.
Curl BC.
Yes, it does.
Oh, Janice, never, never.
Oh, boy.
Never, ever.
Anything short.
Even if it's short and give Janice.
Anything short is fine.
I like the feel. Yeah, it will. Down there.
Good call here by the Canadian skip. Get that off of there.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah. Clean. Yep, hard! Hurry!
Georgina Wheatcroft
Great shot.
opens it up.
Even if you're there.
Yeah, shot's okay this time.
Well, as you mentioned, that's the result of their round robin game in draw 8. Canada, when Law threw her last one, she was facing 5, Linda.
Yeah, she really had a tough start to the game, but Scotland did a very good job in staying ahead, because sometimes getting the lead that early is not easy with this 4-rock rule. And you saw the numbers between Kelly Law and Rona Martin, and Rona Martin outcurled Kelly by a long margin in that game. But this game, it's an entirely different story. Canada with the advantage and playing pretty well.
Play! 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 All the way, Janice. All the way, all the way. All the way, all the way. Play there.
Fiona McDonald right down on top. Appears that Scotland is lying one back button. Second shot is the Canadian stone.
You go
What
here.
about a bump? That or a bump? If you bump them, that's not bad.
Well, do you guys like the freeze?
Or bump them.
Yeah? Okay,
Right in there, George.
then we might have something on our next shot.
You'd like to be firing at those, but
Okay.
they're set up not too bad for Scotland.
How's the weight?
Lots.
Yes! Hard for line! Hurry!
Diane Nelson, Julie Skinner. They're trying to bring it right into the pocket if they can.
Right up, guys.
She was inside and light.
Okay.
It's
Maybe it
not a
picked her
good
something.
spot. Yeah, I don't know. It didn't look that bad when she let
That's
it go.
your tons.
The weight was close, but
Yeah, the weight was good.
Okay, 3. Scotland always a little bit slow in these games, and they have to be careful because their time clock is running down, and the last end you expect will be also filled with discussion.
Margaret
I'll
Morton.
take the yellow. Oh, then never line, never line, never line. Half check.
Is she going to come into the pot, or is she going to just guard what she's got there?
Just wants it in front of those rocks.
Yep. Quick! Quick! Whoa, whoa! Pretty good there.
Now it's just one for sure, possibly two. Scotland.
She shouldn't have moved them at all, as far as I'm concerned, because the angles are much better now, a little bit better for Canada. And when she disturbed that scenario, it was actually set up very nicely for Scotland. And now Canada can just swing away at these.
I got a stick, that's the main thing, right?
Right
On
here.
the inside. What kind of weight?
Normal.
Okay. Can I throw the intern? Whoa. Ah! It's hanging. Whoa!
Whoa, right off.
Hanging. It's totally hanging.
Right off.
Whoa! Interesting. It totally sat there. That's not bad though, actually.
Well, it didn't hit the rock they were planning to hit, which was the red one. It hit the yellow instead.
Okay, a bit less.
Thanks.
It's less split. Okay, we need even less than that, oh my God. Must be really light. Tell me if I'm way too light.
She'll try and guard now, guard the situation, but Canada's going to have a shot for sure, because if they guard the yellow ones, then Canada will have a shot at the red. So you can't protect them both, I don't
All the
think.
way hard! Hard! Never up! Never up! Hard! All the way, Janice!
Never up,
hard!
Jenna Swat. Then Fiona McDonald.
Hard! Hard!
Line
Hard!
two.
Get the yellow. He's doing the yellow. Okay.
Okay.
I think they should have left that one shorter.
Well, there's a way that this can work, you know? Like,
If I nose it, I get those two, don't
well,
I? That one's
think
going to go in the
so.
open, and that's fine.
Well, this one might even catch this on the way by and move that.
Now I need a smash job, eh? Because if I nose it, we're losing the back one at least. We might catch that if I got to throw a lot of weight at it, eh? Doesn't matter where I hit this, really,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I
Throw
think
a lot of weight at it, they might, all three in the back might go. They might.
What if you hit it on this side?
No.
You think
I gotta
that's
try to
just
get it on
going
this
straight
side.
this way?
That's fine. Well, that'll move over.
What we
It might
want
get
to
into
do,
weeds,
yeah,
we
I
might
think
use it for later.
I think we need to nose it.
Yeah, right on the nose
Or
is
maybe
good.
even this way.
Just off the nose, right there.
Yeah.
So, peel, right? Peel weight.
Well, same as last time.
That was peel.
I don't want it to hang.
Yeah.
Okay?
It appears that those red stones are frozen. That means you could manipulate the angle of the second one coming back onto shot rock. If you hit it more on the right-hand side, the second red stone will go more to the left, and vice versa. If you hit it on Broom's side too much, the red stone will go too much to the right. So it's pretty close to the nose. We'll bring it back onto shot rock.
Julie Skinner trying to get rid of some red.
What?
Here in the ninth, Canada leading 7-6.
Ah! Close!
Close!
Juff off center. And they'll get rid of two.
That's good. That's pretty good. That's really good. Yeah.
She's got a great attitude, Julie. She's a very
That's a good
positive
one, eh?
person, no matter.
I like that. That's sweet.
I've got to move it. What do I do?
But you can't.
What?
Can you get that? See, I'll spin off the red one.
They're trying to hit something. They're getting rid of their own.
Yeah, I mean,
It's great.
they have to guard.
Yeah. It's really good. Just trying to tap.
I'm
No,
even if I
that's
move
great.
that
was-
yellow, at least my red's then sitting here.
Yeah. See that I draw one round. There's not a lot of room to do it.
Ah, but I don't want to leave a double.
Yeah.
If I leave a double,
Yeah.
okay, what do you think? Move the yellows up a bit and punch the red. Try and get the angles better.
Try and get the angles.
And even if I catch it on that side, just to nudge it, then the plant's always pushing that that way. And then she
Right.
can't come off that one.
Right, better in the same hand, no, that one. Okay.
Just going to nudge this one here. You heard her say we don't like. She doesn't like the angle, so she's going to try and get in here and nudge this one here up onto that one, and maybe move this a little bit here. So
We're in trouble. No.
Yeah, Scotland's in trouble, and it was set up pretty well again, and guards did not get put up correctly.
Why is that, Linda? I mean, it just seems that we've seen so many stones, whether they be free guard zone stones through Diane, you know, Morton stones. Why are the guards so tough to put up here?
Well, we don't know if it's the dramatic change in draw weight from the ice changing, but you know, these are things that by now in the game, at least I believe, Ray, they should be able to make that adjustment. They're just not doing it.
I agree.
Ray off!
Take it over.
Whoa! Fraction more.
Yeah, right now.
Right on the nose, that yellow, or a little on the hair on the inside. What do you think, George?
Yeah, I don't think I can hurt myself by doing this.
No,
right there.
Or a little on the outside and you get them all, but. And we flop. But that's hard. We need a lot of weight to get this back. It's either that or we just go for this. We got to hit about 3/4 of it on this side with a lot of weight. 3/4 with a lot of weight.
Talking about that one, then you heard Julie say we could just hit this one here.
I think that's good.
I think so. Yeah.
Get the red on the outside.
Come to the hole and get it this way.
I think we got to make the back one now.
So what are we playing this one? Are we playing this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, same as before. You threw the shot before.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, if it over curls, we got that, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm just going to play their yellow. Stone here. Onto this to remove this one here. Intern, big weight.
Kelly Law in her first, Canada with the hammer and leading 7-6 as we play in the ninth.
Off tie.
Close. Whoa.
Whoa.
Yep.
Yep. Yep.
Whoa.
Whoa, whoa,
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
whoa,
whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa. Good shot, Kelly.
Exactly what you called.
Good shot.
Yeah, that's good.
It's angled on the top red. It's angled on
That
the red.
red one
so she
can't
even
be
get it.
angled back directly because of their overlapping
shot.
now for Scotland.
It turned out very, very well. It couldn't have turned out better.
No, Scotland's in huge trouble. They've got nothing on those rocks. They're just going to play the draw.
Yeah,
This end could be it. This potentially is a lot of points for Canada.
Squeezing the yellow. Need to go around it. It's line 2.
So trying to draw in there for shot stone. And here's a lady who, as we said,
Where is
has
it?
struggled with her draw weight. And might need a game-saving draw right here.
Big.
Canada is lying too. Not a brush yet from
Needs a
either
smash then.
Janice Watt or Fiona McDonald. Nothing yet.
Yeah. Oh.
Whoa!
Trying to tap up now, bump it up, and nothing. And Canada continues to lie too.
The problem is getting
Is that
3.
as much as that ring?
Yeah.
That rocks me because I thought, you know, I'd look like I'd miss
We have
it.
no time. Right here, Kelly. Right here.
I like throwing it through. Taking her two. What about just throwing the intern? They take our two. I'm throwing it away, Julie.
Can't believe Maggie's.
So that's what they're going to do.
Was
Is
it that
throw
one
it
I
through,
thought,
just
well, I
take their
hit?
two and say thanks very much.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing.
I thought the outturn draw was pretty safe. Very tough, but very safe. But they're not going to even try it.
And in that way, bank a little time as well. Canada, as Diane Nelson will follow it down just in case. 2 for Canada here in 9. And so the Canadians, among 1,600 supporters here at Braehead, will take a 3-point lead to the 10th. And Rona Martin and Scotland will try and fight their way back here at the Ford World Curling Championships on TSN.
The Ford World Championships on TSN are brought to you by Labatt, Good Things Brewing. By Karcher, quality cleaning equipment. And by Ford, for now, forever.
Welcome back to Braehead Arena in Renfrewshire. That's about just a 10-15-minute drive west of downtown Glasgow as we go to the 10th. Canada leading 9-6 in this women's semi-final of the World Curling Championship. The winner moving on to play either Switzerland or Norway in Saturday's final. Diane Nelson with her 2 stones, throwing them through.
They're both a little short of time, Linda.
Yes, to start the end, Canada had just over 6 minutes left, and Scotland was down to just over 5 minutes. Now for Canada, they're going to be playing hits, so they're not going to be taking as much time for their shots. It's Scotland that's in big trouble. And try to help me here. We had a game, and I thought it involved a Scottish team one year where they were trying to catch up in the last end, and they had so little time left. They actually had to play takeouts on opponents' rocks instead of draws because they took a shorter length of time to play. Do you remember that a couple of years ago?
That was, though, yeah. They wanted that rock out in front of the rings, not in the rings. It allows Georgina Wheatcroft to play the takeout.
Well, before the game started, we talked about some of the keys to success, and you have to say, in trying not to be too critical, there's been a lot of mistakes by both teams in this game, and I thought Kelly Law might need to save because they like to play aggressively, make that big shot, and boy, there was none bigger than that 7th end where she drew in the first time to save it, the second time to get a second point. She just had a terrific end.
The first shot was just you know, really a huge shot because she was in trouble a couple times in that end.
And so now Canada with some execution, trying to run the Scots out of stones as we play second rocks here in the 10th.
Nice shot.
Nice shot by Georgia. I don't think she liked the way she threw that. They jumped on it right away. Very pained expression on her face.
Well, style doesn't count, luckily.
No,
just get rid of it.
No room for remarks.
Fine move. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Getting 2 is definitely a possibility. Putting up guards and getting come-arounds. It's that 3rd point that Scotland needs that's going to be very tough.
Couple mistakes here, but you know that goes back to the time too. They're hurrying in the hack. You're not taking the same amount of time to throw the rock or to concentrate on the weight. And in a couple cases, Scotland slipped into the rings, and that's all it has to do in lots of cases with that amount of time you have left.
Scots are wasting no time. They're in the hack and ready to throw as soon as the Canadian stone comes to rest.
Shot with this one.
Rona Martin putting the brush down for
Never
Margaret
line.
Morton.
Goal line, loads of room. Loads of room. Okay. You can bring her right back even, come on. Yep, 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 yep. Right back, come on.
Just didn't finish for her, Linda. Had the weight, but just wouldn't finish. See it all.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Right off.
Wow.
Right off.
Straight off. It's tracking down there. Jeez.
Girl!
Catch something. Oh, and it pushes it in behind that stone top 12.
It just sat there. Sorry, Kelly. I thought it threw pretty good.
Well, Julie's been a
Could I put it
little
out
bit
again?
outside maybe and lots of weight on a few of her shots, and they have gone very straight. And
Yeah,
here's
line.
your chance. You can
Where are
bury
you?
this one and try to
Whoa,
set up
whoa,
the 3.
Whoa!
I think it's a little bit in Julie's release, the odd time. She does have a
Whoa.
tendency just to kind of put it back. You know, she has that very
Whoa!
exaggerated finger release, and it looks like sometimes she sits them back a bit. Oh, goodness.
You just got a chance. You don't want to give it back now. Will it stop in time? No.
That's the time clock maybe too, a little bit, just breaking the concentration.
Okay, do what I couldn't.
That was fine.
No brushing. All they could do was helplessly watch as it slides out the back of the 12 when they had a chance to lie 2 and maybe set themselves up for a 3.
I was probably just in the
And no one knew it more than Margaret Morton, the thrower. And so now Canada has a chance, if they can make the takeout here, to run the Scots out of stones in this 10th. A trip to the final awaits Kelly Law if she can make the shot.
Whoa. Clean.
So it's
Clean.
Diane Nelson and Georgina Wheatcroft.
Clean. Whoa. Clean.
And with
Just
Julie
clean.
Skinner
Just clean. Shot Kelly.
calling the line. There it goes. And Canada and Kelly Law from the Richmond Curling Club are through to the final of the Women's Ford Worlds here in Glasgow. And ironically, by a score of 9-6, the same score by which the Scots won the round robin.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Dina Morgan. Hi, Cameron. Hi, Christopher. We'll be home soon.
Okay, way to go, guys.
We're in the final. Yippee. Hi, Christopher.
There'll be lots of support from the big Canadian curling family here at Braehead.
Good shot, Kelly.
The Ford World Championships on TSN are brought to you in part by Husky Oil and Mohawk Retailers, leaders in fuel, food, and services. By JVC, when performance matters. By Nova Scotia, Canada's sea coast. And by the Globe and Mail, well written, well read.
Time now for the TSN Turning Point, brought to you by Rayovac.
Well, it comes in the 7th end, and we've all seen Kelly Law make a lot of big shots. But in my mind, this is the biggest and maybe the best we've ever seen, because Scotland had Canada in all kinds of trouble, and they were just trying to get something into the 4-foot. Didn't really know the ice, didn't really know the weight in this spot. The sweepers took it beautifully just by the first guard. Once it gets by the first guard, that's not the only problem. It has to get by another guard. It does that. It gets to the button. She draws for another point, and Canada goes on to the win.
A cash donation will be made to the Coaching Association of Canada for the training and development of coaches in amateur sport on behalf of TSN and Rayovac. Kelly Law getting congratulatory hugs from her husband, Bruce. She's a winner. She's on to the final.
The Ford World Championships on TSN are brought to you by Karcher, quality cleaning equipment. By Labatt, Good Things Brewing. And by Ford, for now, forever.
So the Canadian women are through to the final. Can Greg McCauley put Canada's men into the final? We'll find out Saturday, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific, when McCauley and his team of Pierce, Mickey, and Zweistrup play the U.S. and Craig Brown. So congratulations to the Canadian champions from the Richmond Curling Club, Kelly Law, Julie Skinner, Georgina Wheatcroft, and Diane Nelson. They are a winner, and they're through to the final. They will play either Switzerland or Norway in the women's final Saturday night. Now, on behalf of Linda Ray and our entire crew, thanks for joining us. Stay with us now. We're joining Off the Record, already in progress. This has been a presentation of TSN, Canada's most watched sports network.